Hello there, friends, and welcome to Strangers in the Night, your source for
Hello
late
there,
night
friends,
VR
and
gaming
welcome
talk.
to
I, of
Strangers in the Night.
course, am your
Your
host,
source
Wes.
for
With
late
me, as
night.
always, is my good friends Eric and Brad. Welcome back, Brad. One of you guys were playing my voice in my ear, but I thank you for catching it, whoever it was.
I caught it quick. I know I had two YouTube windows open, and I'm like, "Where the hell did that one
Did
come
you see
from?"
the confusion in my eyes as I started
You're like, "Why am I
frantically looking
why am I
back?
having echoes?"
I was freaking out too. It's like
I
the
know.
voices in my head.
Well, here's the worst thing is when you can hear it, and I'm looking, and I'm like, I have my YouTube window open for my chat, and that's muted. So I'm like, "Where the hell am I still hearing this from?" And I had a window that was rogue window that was open somewhere I couldn't even tell you on the computer. It's all good. We're all fine. Everything's
We
fine.
are
Everything's
fine.
good
We
here.
are
Nothing to see here. Nothing to see.
we're here. We're live for the first time in almost 2 weeks. We're back on with another show. I told you all we would be back, but to be back, we're in here doing mandatory time, and we'll talk about why that's the case here in a little bit. But I'm glad to be back. For those of you who couldn't already tell by my constantly looking back over my shoulder, I'm driving today. Our friend Roots is off. We kind of decided to do this on really short notice, and Roots had some other stuff going on this weekend. So sitting in is our good friend Brad, and as always, Brad, a pleasure to have you here. I know you've got a lot going on, but there's a lot going on in the VR space right now, and I couldn't think of a better time to have you than right now. It's very exciting.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a wild week.
Indeed. Yeah, kind of out of nowhere. It's been a wild week for us as well. We were kind of talking about it a little bit off the air. Our little PR firm has now grown into a full-fledged VR game development studio. And Eric, I think this is our first show post-launch. We have officially launched. We did it, and it seems to be very well received. I for one couldn't be happier with the reception.
Yeah, man. When we have over 200 reviews in the store. Over 4.9 rating, which is crazy to have that high of a rating. Usually, you get somebody who you just piss off for whatever reason, and you get several of those people. And yeah, I mean, it's just a fun game, and to hear all the people having fun with it, like, I don't know, like, I mean, we all get so much joy out of video games. Like, the video games have changed my life. I've had some of the best moments in my life playing video games met some of the best people in my life because of video games. So, I don't know, when you have a chance to create something or make something or do something where you can make something happen to now you get to bring joy to other people's lives, it's a special thing. Like, I don't know, but to be able to be part of creating something that other people get to play and smile and like take a minute to out of their day to like do something fun. Um, and that has effect on people. The gaming had an effect on me. There's many people that have made video games that I like idolize and look up to. So, for me to be able to be part of that and you to be able to be part of that, such a big thing, man.
Yeah, I agreed. It's been so exciting, and I can't thank everyone enough for all of the support. I try to say it. People kind of come to me and talk to me like I have anything to do with creating these awesome games. I try to remind people that I'm just a mouthpiece. I'm the middleman here, just trying to relay messages from the community to the team and back. But I can't express my gratitude enough for all of the kind things that people have said. People are tagging me on the daily still, just to make sure that we know how much they're enjoying the game. And you know what, Eric, I'm getting a lot of sentiment like you have often said. That this isn't my type of game. I didn't think I was going to like it, but went in there when I went in there and started playing it. I got hooked on it, and everyone is just sup- kind of blown away at how polished it is, and that's me included. Because, and I was saying this on Without Parole this past week. This thing has not been in development for very long. we're taking people here that, a year ago, a year and a half ago, were sitting on their couch, dabbling in VR game development for fun, and now we've made them professionals. We've taken some of the most talented people in the world and taken them out of their solo environment and put them in a team environment, and they're accomplishing truly remarkable things. Um, so I couldn't be more blown away at just how fast everything's going and the quality standard that we're continuing to maintain.
Yeah, it's super cool, and like so it's launched, it's out there in the world, and like we have all those people, Wes, that you're talking about that work so hard on it. What's super cool? Now we on to the next one. Like now we move
Yeah.
like you know what I mean. There RoboQuest VR is like literally almost perfect already, and we have that's not going to launch till sometime next year, so we have a lot of time to continue to polish and work on that, and that game is going to be fucking awesome. I'm telling you, people, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Team Beef is working their asses off on Wrath Aeon of Ruin, and then we're finally going to see their first official game come to the store. Team Beef will bring their first game to the store in conjunction with us at Flat to VR Studios. And then Flat Out, man, Flat Out is like
Then
in
flat out.
production, working. And then, man, there are things like I can't even say yet that we got
and
going
then
on.
what comes next after flat out? I'm very excited about that as well.
Hmm.
Anyway, that's enough about us. The artist formerly known as New Roots, our brother Alex VR is in the chat. He says, "Congrats to Brad. He's going to be a dad." And this is true. Brad, you're having a little girl, is that right?
Yeah, my first child due in March.
Oh,
I've become sadly it's dadly
I was just about
soon.
to say that. I was going to say you got to change your name to Sadly It's Dadly.
Oh
Sad.
man. Yeah, it's gonna be wild. I joked everyone privately earlier that it's gonna be like one of the greatest social experiments ever. So we'll see how that goes.
So are you gonna have like are you gonna have get a little outfit like your VR chat avatar to put on her? Like that would be cute in a very Brad sort of way.
It would be something like actually make her into a cat girl for Halloween. That does seem like something I would do, whether
Definitely.
that's good or not. But yeah, it'll be interesting.
It'll be
I'm like kind of I'm very conflicted internally because like you know every child's raised on like iPads now, and like
Yeah.
back in the day it was like decided not to be a good idea to have a kid around a screen, but now like everyone gave up. Just put an iPad on the kids. I'm
Just
like, should I just raise my kid on spatial computing and see how that affects
Eh,
their mind in the
well,
long term?
you just need to remember, Brad, that you can't do this until varifocal becomes a thing because
Yeah, it's
you'll
true.
mess up
Yep.
mm,
but
yeah.
what I
Yep.
did, if it's any use to you to know kind of how we went about it, is I think I started letting them play when they were around 10 or 11, but not just, here you go, you have at it all you want. Um, One, it was a privilege, like they had
Yeah.
they had to earn it. And when I think when we started, the youngest one, we let him have 30 hours a week in it. So like he would do his school all week. We homeschool our kids, and when Saturday came along and he had all of his school done, we would give him 30 minutes in the PlayStation VR. And if he like as he got older and earned more time in it, we would still make him take breaks. So now you've got an hour, but you get 30 minutes. You have to take a break, and then you get another 30 minutes. So that's kind of how we went about it. But I didn't obviously
What
didn't
kind
let them
of
do it when they were too young.
what kind of games would your kids gravitate toward like the most?
Zombie shooters.
Yeah,
Mm,
well, I mean, that's what I started them on. Honestly, Arizona Sunshine's what I taught them in, and they, obviously after they got more used to it, they've developed their own tastes, and they're all fans of like Minecraft, so they played that for a while. Um, I think
Hey,
they're the stuff kids play, Rec Room, things like this, like free social stuff is their favorite. They honestly, what they really like more than anything is just being able to get in a virtual space with their friends. But here lately, they've been playing like Demio and what is the name of that?
Hey Wes,
Okay,
can I interrupt you for a minute? Everybody's
sure.
saying your mic is really low.
My mic is low. My mic is low. I don't know why it would be low, but I will turn it up. Thank you.
Hmm.
Probably because I leaned back or something, but I'll boost it up here a little bit. Uh, anyway, I can't remember what the name of the title that they've been playing lately is, but they enjoy social games mainly.
Yeah.
Um, they beg me for VR chat, but I won't. I won't just turn them loose on that because you know why.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably a good idea.
I put my daughter into Among Us for like 5 minutes, and there was some dude in there, and I'm like, "Yep, you're out." He was
Yeah.
being weird, and I'm like, "No, you're done.
Well, they
Can't
we
do it."
they used to play Rec Room a lot, and the thing I really liked about Rec Room is you could let them into a space with other people, but you could completely mute everyone so that the only people that they could hear were people on their friends list. And rule number one is you're not allowed to friend anyone that you don't know in real life. If you don't know them in meet space, then they're not your friend in the digital space. And that worked really well for a while. It allowed them to play multiplayer games with other people, but not hear the foul mouth of all the other children that that are in Rec Room.
I was thinking about
Um,
this the other day, like let's just say one day varifocals and headsets, it becomes a very regular computing platform for people and even kids growing up, right? They're not iPad babies anymore. They're Vision Pro babies, right? Like I always wonder, how do you handle moderating what they're looking at? Because it's really like a difficult, like for a phone or an iPad or a laptop, it's always easy to like kind of look over and be like, oh, this is what you're doing. But there's like nothing for that really for headsets, unless you want to like waste resources to have them constantly casting what they're doing to a different device. It's like there's a lot of stuff that still needs to be thought in that regard.
yeah,
And yeah, I've been
yeah.
my mind's obviously been wandering like toward these
Well,
parental things I've never obviously thought about before.
so in our house, there's kind of two aspects to that, right? Like there's the VR headsets, which honestly, the VR stuff's really easy to regulate. The headsets all stay in my room. If they want to play something, they have to come and get it. They have to tell me what they're playing and who they're playing with. So I suppose they could pull the wool over my eyes and go do something else, but they're not just in there messing around. They always go in and they have an objective in something that they're doing. It's pretty easy to see what they're doing if I want to look at it. Um, Now the internet's a little bit trickier of a beast, obviously, because it's wide open. And when you get kids, especially when you get like young teenagers, like you don't want to completely restrict them. If you put on internet restrictions and you try to restrict it for children, it's always too aggressive, right? And it's blocking stuff from them that they want to see and stuff that I'm fine with them seeing. So you kind of have to let them go with it. But we've been really lucky that for the most part, for the longest time, uh, we've got good kids that are pretty honest. Now, has it been perfect? No, but when they get into things that they shouldn't be into, um, typically they're very embarrassed when they get caught, and
Mm.
they're very apologetic about it. So I haven't had to correct them more than once. When I catch them doing
Right.
something they're not supposed to
The
do, and
the
you know,
the
I'm sorry, go ahead.
15-year-old or 14-year-old me is like, man, the world of virtual porn would be amazing back then.
Yeah, that's the scary thing, man, because when we were little, it was a different world, and this kind of things that we could potentially get access to were nowhere near the level of depravity that is a click away right now. And that stuff you got to imagine, could really damage someone mentally if they catch it at the wrong stage of their development. So you have to be careful. You do have to monitor.
I do want to kind of like bring up my take on this because maybe I'm like right at that age group where it's like I was literally like raised on the unmoderated internet. Like I remember going on 4chan when I was like 10 years old and stuff like that. All right, and like I know that sounds like terrible, but like I feel like my mind's actually really open because I like grew up on this just completely wild west time of the internet where there's like not much moderation. I've seen every freaking opinion, whether it's like probably the worst opinion anyone could have, like right next to each other, another terrible opinion. So it's like, yeah, it's really hard. How do you like? You don't want to trap people in a bubble because then once they see an opposite opinion they never seen before, then they're like, I feel like they almost go crazy
Yeah,
or they don't know how to deal with it. It's just really
yeah.
weird.
I really don't restrict them in terms of that sort of things when you're talking about opinions on the world or social like that. That's not the
Yeah,
stuff I restrict them from. It's purely
mhm,
vulgarity, right? Like
yeah,
I don't want them watching stuff with a bunch of profanity. I don't want them watching a bunch of sexually charged stuff.
right, right, right.
So like I pretty much let them have free reign on YouTube. They they I haven't really let them use TikTok. Like my 18-year-old or 17-year-old, she just started using TikTok after asking me for it for 4 years, and she's finally old enough to get TikTok. Um, but I've used a couple of fear tactics to keep them in check while I'm not watching, like telling them the truth, like there's nothing that you can do on your computer that I won't see. So like just know
Mm.
that I can see everything that you're doing.
Yeah, it
Um,
knows everything.
also, when it comes to like sketchy areas of the internet, like they live their whole lives through their devices, right? And if they pick up a virus or some sort of malware, it can destroy their stuff. And I just tell them that, like, if you're getting into stuff that you shouldn't be into, you could end up destroying your devices, and that's on you. Like if you get into
Yeah,
something you shouldn't be into, and you mess up your computer or your tablets, then it's on you. You'll have to wait until next Christmas to ask for a new one. So that's worked pretty well. Again, it hasn't been perfect. Every now and then
yeah,
they walk off the line, but that's just part of life. We did too when we were kids, right? And that's just part of life and part of everyone's journey and learning.
yep.
Anyway, enough about this sort of things. Tune in next week for more parental talk
Sweet.
with Brad.
We should just
But
have Brad check in every week as he goes, so you can just like check and see what's going on this week, Brad. He's like, I had to change 2 poopy diapers this week. Do
I
See,
do
can't
right?
this
wait.
for the first time. Do this for the first time. You're so like drunk on no sleep that you forget to re-put the diaper on your baby at some point. And then your wife comes home, she's like, what in the hell is going on? Oh man.
It's
It's gonna
really
be so
interesting.
much
Like,
fun, Brad.
yeah, we'll move on, but it's like interesting because like there's so much technology to like capture these moments now.
Yeah.
Like every generation
Oh,
has a new
Brad,
way.
Brad, get a. I've heard you openly dismissing VR 180 as a format. You're gonna love
Hmm.
having that VR 180 now to take these baby videos. Get yourself a good VR camera if you don't already
Yeah,
have something that shoots good stereoscopic uh, video. You're gonna want that, and you're gonna want it now.
yeah.
Especially
Because you're
for the childbirth.
yeah, you're gonna
Have
want
you
to remember
seen?
this time.
Yeah, have you? You can you can see the crowning in full 3D. Wow, that's
I wasn't
incredible.
thinking.
Oh
That
my god.
that one went over my head. Totally.
That was like, have you seen like the I think it's called Gracia or something. Where basically, it's like these video, what they call them, Gaussian splats. They're like
Mm,
Oh
fully
yeah,
volumetric.
yeah, I've seen them.
Man, that's the kind of stuff I want to look into right now for like capturing these moments. Because I was already,
yeah.
we the ultrasound they did was basically like they did a full 3D model, and when I saw them doing it, I already asked them like, can I grab that 3D model because I actually wanted to like put it in my spatial area but they didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to do any of that. But can you imagine if like you could? We're in that we're in a stage of our life where if these people who are more computer literate are already creating 3D models of ultrasounds of babies inside the wombs, where you can give that to someone and they can just be able to see it in full 3D in their virtual space. Like, oh man, it's kind of crazy. Like, what kind of archiving you can do of people's lives now? It's wild. But yeah, I'll
Yeah.
stop my
Yeah,
crazy
you
talk.
can do it
there.
from the womb to the grave, really, in full 3D. Like they were doing 3D ultrasounds when I had my first kid, and like
Yeah.
and it was video too. It wasn't just stills, right? Like they send you home with a video. I got to imagine you can plug that into some AI software and have it pull the what you want away from all of the other stuff, and you know.
Can you imagine just
That's
like
pretty good.
even your age now, just you're wearing a headset, and you like be like, oh yeah, that's me in the womb, like whatever so years ago. Like that'd be so cool. Oh my god, yeah. So anyway,
And
yeah,
there's probably somewhere right now some software that could probably take your 3D ultrasound and pretty accurately show you what your baby's going to look like
What
when
your
it's
what's gonna
born.
look like? That was
uh,
freaky. Would you want to know? Like, I don't know.
they all look
Yeah.
like blobs, right? I mean, come on
Yeah.
now, blobs with hair sometimes.
I want the one that's gonna tell me if my kid's gonna grow up to be an asshole or not. Forget about what they look like. Can you tell me if they're gonna be a jerk?
Ace Gamer, the Game Cat, says they're talking childbirth with VRAF mechanics.
Let's go. Let's go.
I
All
can't
right.
help it, dude. This is how my brain thinks. It's really messed up.
Yeah.
It's forever rotten. It's not coming
Yeah.
back from it.
You don't want to hear old guy talk, go watch Gorilla Tag content, I guess. Anyway, it's a good point. Let's say hello to our friends in chat so that we can get on with it here. Philozix is here with us, as is Space Dennison and Hussein X. Ace Gamer, hello again. Mepper's here. Chrome Colossus, Will Gander. Will Gander says, my ultrasound was 2D. I didn't even know they could do 3D.
There you
Lucky.
go.
Man, I come from like the backwoods of nowhere, and they were doing 3D ultrasounds 20 years ago. So yeah, that is definitely a thing. Air Force One is here, as is Inferno 9. What's up, Chinatown D? Good to see you. Salvador, what up? Bad Robo's here. He says Trombone Champ is perfect for children. That's a good point. It's kind of
It
a
is.
good all ages game.
Did you happen to put anybody? Did you have people over for Thanksgiving, Wes? And did you put anybody into it?
No, we went over to my in-laws' house on Sunday. We did. You know what I did on Thanksgiving? I slept all day long. I did.
Nice.
That's what I did. I've needed to catch up on sleep for literally weeks, and that's what I did. I just slept all day yesterday, and I feel so much better now because of it.
Sounds pretty good. Let me know how that
Um,
goes. I want to try that sometime.
you should do that tomorrow.
Yeah, and
Um,
maybe. Yeah.
I saw you making meetings on Sunday, man. What the hell's wrong with you?
I don't know, man. Like literally, I'm like Alex. He's like Sunday. I'm like okay. I'm like all right.
Let's see. Who else is here? VR SpryGuy. Let's hear SpryGuy. We finished Into Black this week. Eric,
You
Spry
finished it all the
Guy.
way? How dare
Yeah,
you guys finish this thing without me?
20 levels, and
Damn.
a bit anticlimactic, if I have to say so. But the journey
Mm.
was a hell of a ride. So
All right.
we'll have to play through it again. Just tag me
Yeah,
up
I
anytime
would
you
do
want
it.
to get in there.
Hell yeah.
Zayla Maru is here. What's up? Who else? Chrome Colossus. I think Evan Yabu's here. Gabriel 004. Exploding Kittens. Yeah, my kids, they haven't gotten into the Exploding Kittens yet. They play the actual real card game in real life. But my wife, she's been playing the hell out of Exploding Kittens. So my wife loves it. Who else is here? Tatum's here. What's up, Tatum? Alex. Hello again, Alex. Hussein X. Hello again, Hussein X. Seeing a lot of the same names now as I scroll up. Scion was here. What's up, Scion? Says, what is this, a dick measuring contest, SpryGuy? Well, I must have got getting in late on this conversation, but I'm very interested now to see what it was. Johnny Rye Pop, what up, Rye Pop? Who else is here? Whole lot of Brad up at the top. Not the tippy top. Q Creator. Good to see you, friend. And that is as far to the north as I can scroll. Do we have anybody pop in? We certainly did. Mark Pringlesleaf is slipping in. Silver Next is slipping in. Log Lover. You know who else is a log lover, Eric?
My mom. Yes, she is.
Ryan Brandon's here. Magnum Gaming is here. Rogue TR is here. Who else? Anyone else? Waleed is now a game cat, specifically a white tiger, is here. All right. I believe that is everyone except for the Gaming Entertainment Network. Hello. Welcome, everyone. If I missed you, I apologize. Thank you for showing up and hanging out with us tonight. Let's get down to business and talk about the reason for the season. Valve Deckard, new controller designs for long-awaited Valve Index successor spotted in Steam VR Code. So we had to have Brad on here. Brad, again, ever so grateful that you would take the time out to enlighten us on this because, as we mentioned at the top of the show, I've been very busy and I haven't been able to pay as much attention to the space as I normally would. Again, it's been weeks since I've even done a show. The last numbered episode that I did, you were on, Brad. That's how long it's been since I did a numbered episode.
Holy moly.
So, yeah. Anyways, I haven't seen everything about these new Roy controllers. But what I have seen enough to know, well, tell me if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is our first real hard evidence that this is going to be a consumer product. Am I right about that?
Yeah, just to kind of like put it in more perspective, the latest version of these controllers that are at least in the files are marked as EV1, which is not a prototype necessarily anymore. That's actually like the first steps to being productized and getting its way to like a mass production state. So that means, yeah, Valve's actually putting a lot of money right now. They're tooling stuff in their factories to get these controllers to people. probably maybe in a year or so.
So let's play devil's advocate here before we deep dive any further into this. We're all assuming, due to the years of speculation about the Deckard headset, that this is confirmation of that. Is there any other potential thing that this could be? Like, could this be a new controller set for like another VR or even Valve Index or anything else? Obviously, this is more than just VR controllers here. We can tell by the different button configuration on here that they're trying to do something very different in VR, whatever they're doing next. Is there anything that pops into your wildest imagination that these could be used for other than the mythical, magical Deckard headset?
Not really. The reason why, okay, there's a couple things here. First, let's bring up that these are marked as Valve controllers. It even has its own OpenXR extension that is a Valve OpenXR extension, which means they built it for these controllers. They're marked as Valve Roy and SteamVR data mining throughout all the hardware strings for that. Now, I want to give a little more background of how this leaked a little bit, because I think that might also make people understand a little bit more. So this happened on Tuesday. Valve usually has this master app, I guess you can call it, where they add applications to it to tell Steam what is all the free to download apps that you don't really need an account, for example, to download. Steam VR, the tool, is one of those apps, and it looks like someone at Valve was testing out a way to transition that to a different method. Instead of adding stuff to this master app, they would add stuff to they would add a tag that says free to download to all the apps that are related. Whoever did this at Valve, well, they didn't think about that there might be some depots related to Steam VR that we didn't have access to, that when they did this change, gave every single owner of Steam VR access to this hidden depot. So if you had your computer running on Tuesday, and you had automatic updates for Steam VR, you probably have some folders in your Steam VR drivers that say Roy and Deckard. And we'll get to this later, but inside your Roy folder, you'll also have something called Ibex, which is a Steam controller too, as well. And all these files that you're seeing here, they might be on your computer right now. It's not something that just someone pulled out of their butt. It's probably on your computer right now, all right? Valve accidentally uploaded this to everyone. And the crazy thing is, one, obviously it's already really crazy. We have render models that are being built for Steam VR. That's already like a pretty wild leak, obviously. But something else leaked that is really ridiculous that it leaked, and I think some people can get in trouble for this, unfortunately, but there was a Blender master file for all these controllers as well. Blender is the app that people do 3D modeling, and inside this Blender master file, it gave a lot of info of not only who's responsible for the tracking systems, but some of the people who are designing the controllers at Valve and whatever.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. And it basically confirmed years of I've been talking about this one company for a few years in my speculation videos. They're called Arcturus Industries. They're the company who they worked with Valve to create Room View 3D for the Index, which was like, it's really bad, like compared to what we have now. But it was like a perception correction thing where if you had pass through on, it would try to make things have more depth and stereo correct and all the stuff that you kind of just get automatically now with pass through on other HMDs. And at the time, that was actually pretty novel, and not many companies were doing that yet. Arcturus did that completely for Valve, and over the years, they were kind of showing off them as a startup that they're building out all these things, all these tracking algorithms, all these things, and that they kind of hinted a lot that they were working with Valve. But we never knew if Valve was actually going to use them for a headset or product until we got this Blender master file that completely says that, yes, they're basically fully in charge with the tracking systems for these controllers. So that's another reason why we know this is not like a controller for like a Quest, right? It's not using Quest tracking system. It specifically uses the system that Valve is funding Arcturus to build as well.
So this is inside out tracking then, yes?
This is, yes. They are, I mean, you can even see like the picture you have up right here is actually pretty great because you can see all the iterations of this Roy controller as they were trying to not only figure out what kind of inputs they had, but they're also clearly training IR LEDs and like getting their algorithms better and better to the point where they can remove the rings, just like you see now with Quest 3 and Pico Ultra 4 Ultra. So it's most definitely very similar to what you would get with the Quest 3 controller for right now.
You know what my biggest question is?
Yeah.
This is a deep one.
Yeah.
What's Valve's obsession with Rick Deckard and Roy Beatty from Blade Runner?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think they just are a bunch of nerds over there. Like they like honestly, like they named their AMD chips in Steam Deck after Final Fantasy VII characters, which are Sephiroth and Aerith. And I guess for the VR stuff, they're like, hey, Blade Runner is cool. let's do this. But also there might be a second meaning for the Deckard term that a lot of people have been saying over the years, and these controllers kind of give more evidence to that. People are saying maybe Deckard is not only just the name of the character, but also stands for Deck Augmented Reality Device. And these controllers are basically if you took pretty much took the Steam Deck, and split it in half and made VR controllers out of it, because you can see the left hand has a D-pad and a full-size thumbstick like the Steam Deck. It's got a system button and it's got a what I think they call a view button. All inputs that the Steam Deck would have on the left side, except it's missing the touchpad. And on the right, same thing. It's A, B, X, Y, a quick access menu button, and I forget the other button on top, but they're basically clearly going for this whole idea of not just a VR controller, but a controller that will fit classic gaming, probably in like a theater mode sort of way. I like to jokingly call it spatial gaming in a way. That seems to be like a big focus that Valve is clearly pushing with their future headset.
Yeah, this has been probably the source not only of the most excitement around this leak, but also the source that has given birth to the most debate as well, because a lot of people don't know how they feel about this new button layout. And you're right, this looks like a standard controller layout, not just Steam Deck, but it looks like a PlayStation controller. And that's bold, because it's one thing obviously to try to streamline things so that people can play flat games inside of a VR headset, but it's another thing entirely to introduce a new standard into VR gaming. Like we've been around for almost a decade now, and the market has pretty much worked out the layout for VR controllers now. Like Sony's bought into it, like everyone, like WMR, everyone's bought into it, and there's been a few different things that have been tried, but everyone's kind of settled on one now. And just when everyone kind of gets universally settled, here comes Valve with a big monkey wrench and a whole new button layout. And I've seen a lot of people, complaining that there's no face buttons on the left controller, which doesn't concern me as much. Because when you think about what those buttons are used for over there, most of the time it isn't stuff that has to be done with your left hand. Like people would get used to using those same buttons, but all on one controller. And if it has to be something left-handed, then you can use the D-pad for that. You can use the D-pad as face buttons. What really kind of bothers me a little bit about it is on the right controller where the buttons are. I've gotten used to having the stick on the outside and the face buttons on the inside, and this is just completely reversing that. So I guess, we've kind of touched on what we think they're doing with that. My question to you is, do you think that they ever considered maybe trying to find a happy medium? Like they could maybe having the 4 buttons, but having them on the inside of the stick versus the outside, or having a D-pad style on the left controller that, like some of the older D-pads that look like buttons, they're actually buttons, but they're arrow buttons. I think maybe the GameCube controller was like that.
The way I feel is I think Valve decided that their happy medium was just the shape of the controller itself. They're like, okay, everyone's used to the Quest controller shape these days. Let's just kind of throw that out there, but we still want to push what we're doing at Valve with Steam and the Steam Deck and the whole ecosystem they're building there. And I mean, it's not shocking that Valve wants to go their own way. They've always kind of done that. Like for example, the D-pad thing. So there's actually a bunch of bindings already inside the files as well, of like how they are remapping Quest controller bindings to these controllers, especially the left hand. And they're basically treating each D-pad as like a different button, like you're saying. Like if there was an A and B on the left hand, well, up and down on the D-pad is going to be that, for example. And you might be like, wow, that's a huge wrench into what it is today. But ironically, this is actually kind of going back to what they wanted to do with the Vive wands, because if you ever did like the early demo with the Vive wands back in 2016, that was the original idea, was to have a big touchpad but each direction would act as its own button. But they got rid of the touchpad and said, hey, we're bringing that back, but with a D-pad, and this will also be very compatible with all the flat games that we're trying to sell. And because I think we can all mostly agree. I would assume that most open-minded people would agree that it's a really weird time for VR hardware, because yes, you can create something that is literally the exact same clone of like a Quest, like its controller and everything. And really what it comes down to for most people is, what ecosystem is the device going to be in? Can it take advantage of the entire ecosystem? Obviously, Apple decided, no, we don't want controllers, but we have the entire iPad, iOS apps that is all touch-based, and you can use your hands for that and whatever. And Valve's kind of doing this whole thing where it's like, well, we've been building our own ecosystem for years on PC, and we've been kind of expanding that to standalone with the Steam Deck, and we kind of like have gotten very successful with our input scheme there, and like we have built Steam input into the entire service and everything, where you can remap stuff, people can push community bindings and all this stuff, and it just works out for them. And I think they're just kind of betting on that. Like, we just want to not only like have VR compatibility, but we want to have as much compatibility with the entire Steam library, and do probably some novel Valve-y things to make that like concept much more appealing to the average consumer. Because even their most recent interview, when they announced that when they announced that they were bringing the Steam Deck to Australia, they basically did an interview saying, we want to bring SteamOS to multiple form factors, not just handhelds. And I think they were talking about VR headsets as well. I can see them like saying, hey, maybe this VR headset thing will be like the next computing platform or gaming platform, and they just want to keep expanding to whatever devices they can. And this is the best way for them to kind of transition that work they've done to Steam Deck over to VR too. So
It's super refreshing, because you get so caught up in what Meta's doing, because they represent so much of the space and the direction that the technology is going in, that you kind of get in that mindset that when you have Valve finally starting to dip their toes back in, and you remember that not every player in VR is trying to do things outside of gaming. And it's exciting when you see Sony doing things as a gamer, because that they primarily care about gaming. And it's exciting when you see Steam doing things in VR, because that they primarily care about gaming. Eric Shady Waffles has a point here that I completely agree with, and is one of the more exciting things about this. He says more buttons equals more depth most of the time, and that's kind of the thing that probably excites me most about these controllers, other than the fact that it's confirmation that this headset's coming probably next year. That these controllers, while they're going to take some getting used to, especially for developers, but also for gamers. But more buttons equals more possibilities, and we've seen over the course of the last year, through the UEVR mod, sometimes the VR controllers just don't have enough inputs. So we're trying to come up with creative ways to emulate things that would be on a normal controller. If this becomes the standard going forward, we're not going to have to worry about that anymore. This has probably 8 more inputs between the two hands. That's
Yeah.
pretty incredible.
Yeah, and I'm like all on board. Like for me, I'm a guy who loves tech. Like I love new designs. I love when they work. I'm like all over it. Like I remember when the freaking Wavebird came out for Nintendo, and I was like, holy shit, this thing is the next level, right? Like, so I love that stuff. I can tell you, the developers are scared. Like already, they're like already freaking out. They're not scared. They're just freaking out. Like, holy crap! More buttons means we got to figure things out, and we got to make sure everything works. And and the button placement, while with most games it's going to be fine, and you're not worried about button placement on the left hand side, for a lot of what we do for flat to VR is you're used to having buttons on the left side, so it can be a little bit of a problem. So again, for me as just a tech person, I'm all about this. Like these back buttons or shoulder buttons, I'm like super cool. I'm a little worried about the buttons on the right. Like the D-pad on the left doesn't bother me at all. Like, I think that's super cool. I think it's actually a good idea. I'm worried about the placement of these buttons on the right because
Yeah.
I don't know how you're gonna reach them with your thumb. Like those buttons seem super high to me. So if you look at that, right, that's what your normal. Actually, let's get the right one. That's your right controller right now. Okay. Now, if that's my thumbstick on the left, so I can get that no problem. Now I have to, my thumbstick's over here. I'm gonna give him the camera. My thumbstick's over here. I have to get buttons way up here. That is uncomfortable. Like the bottom button, I think, where what you would consider like your A button, I think is no problem. But man, getting to that top button, whatever that's going to be above on the top right, that's not a comfortable position. I think you'd have to stay away from those as much as possible. You don't want to be using that button all the time. Let's just say that.
Right. Right.
But
That's not going to be a
I'm
primary
all
button.
about give me options. Like give me options. You know, the developers will figure this stuff out. Trust me. I mean, they're going to be nervous about it, but they figured they figured the index controllers out. They'll figure this out. They figured, you know, Windows mixed reality stuff out. You know, is it harder? Yes. Will they have to make sure that they do stuff for it? Yes. But in the end, they're going to do it. Trust me, they're going to figure it out. Like everybody will. It'll just take a little bit of time, but I mean, Valve knows what they're doing. But Brad, is this the final model? I mean, is this what we're going to see? Like, are they going to adjust this at all? Because I don't know. For me, those buttons just make me nervous.
So they can probably do some small tweaks, but I think if we're okay, so it's kind of, let me put it this way. So EV1 for the Knuckles controller and EV2 were very different, but ever since any product after that from Valve, EV1 and EV2 were almost exactly the same, except just like tooling changes to make things work better. And I think that's just because Valve has gotten more experience with the process of taking things from concept to mass production. I really get the feeling that they're pretty close here, honestly. Just on things I've heard outside of like what I'm discussing today, and like they're making big commitments to this design. Is basically what I can put it. And I kind of wanted to go back to like the whole. Wes, remember I showed you there was a tweet of like 3D printed models from the community. Yeah, this is pretty. In our Discord, my Discord, people have been like 3D printing them like wild and trying to compare them stuff. And another thing we didn't talk about is like these controllers also have a bumper on top of a trigger. Yeah. I wonder, like, will people hold these controllers differently because of that? I'm not sure. Like, are they expecting to put a middle finger on the bumper all the time and like trigger on the or index finger on the trigger? It's just, yeah, it's gonna be very different as well for sure.
I would like to have one of these models just to see how that would feel. It's going to
Mhm.
depend on where they put that grip button. Obviously, this is going to be a decision that Valve makes. You know how they think people should hold them. If it is going to be a situation where people are keeping two fingers up toward the top of the controller, then they would have to move that grip button up a little bit. But that I don't know that they're going to do that because so many of the more popular games in VR are shooter games, and people don't pull the trigger of guns with their middle finger. You know what I mean? So I think it might be a situation where, I guess it could vary. It's going to be incumbent on Valve to put that grip button in a spot where it's comfortable to do it both ways, because shooters are going to want people to keep three fingers on the handle, and then there are going to be other games that are using those bumpers heavily that are going to want people putting two fingers on the handle. So again, it's kind of up to Valve here to just nail this and get it right.
And there's one more aspect that people have been confused about, but I can at least
Look at that. Look how high that grip button is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These are longer than the normal Quest controllers too, right? They look like they're longer. Like
Yep.
the whole handle part is longer.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Valve controllers have always been longer. The Vive ones, the index controllers, they've all had this kind of long, skinny profile.
Yeah, they're actually they're longer than Quest 3 and Quest Pro controllers, but they're not as long as index controller handles.
Right.
So they're right in the middle there. Yeah, so another interesting thing is obviously these models don't have a. Everyone's worried because people like the strap that you have on the Knuckles controllers. Um, as far as I know, and this is a pretty good source for these things, they're doing the thing like with the Quest 3. They have like an optional battery door where you can pull it off, and then there's another battery door with the strap attached to it. Valve's also doing the same thing, and I imagine they will include that in the box. I don't see Valve selling that as an accessory, so people are worried about at least that aspect of things. That's that's something they're working on. There'll be two options for that. Another thing people are asking about, obviously, is people are bummed out because there's probably no capacitive touch, at least for the middle finger, ring finger, and pinky. That's probably gone. I think one of the reasons why we're pretty sure about that is just clearly the shape and like not a huge focus on. Like I said, when you make the strap optional as well, and you have a battery door, that probably means you're also doing replaceable batteries. You're probably not doing it. I don't see any USB-C ports on these models or anything, so they're probably doing completely replaceable batteries, very low power in usage and all that stuff. Yeah, sorry, but I can say as well, based on all the data mining, that every single button you see on this controller, everything, bumper, trigger, grip button, face buttons, all of them have capacitive touch features as well, which will aid in creating a hand skeleton. So they are going to clearly be doing some, as much as they can, heavy lifting with that stuff, and it's very likely as well that the headset will be doing some hand tracking with camera-based stuff as well. There's been a lot of stuff data mine for that. And another thing, I just want to get all through it because there's been a lot since you had me on the show last time, and we were talking about things. But we've been knowing for a while that eye tracking is going to be built into this headset. That's still an absolute for sure. We keep finding more and more evidence that this deckard headset has built-in eye tracking, and we actually got our first indication or hints that it might have built-in face tracking as well, which is quite interesting. So, like, because I see people very nervous because they're seeing these controllers and they're like, "Oh man, is Valve gonna release like a low-end headset or whatever?" But it's like, I mean, it's gonna at least have these things. Yeah.
This kind of leads me to again. I feel like we rehash the same questions every time we have you on here, but there's more info now, so the answers could change. Obviously, it's more clear now than ever that a couple of years ago when the engineers at Valve were purposefully hinting that Steam Deck could inspire the next VR headset, directly hinting at that. It's more clear now than ever that obviously that's the case, that whatever this new headset's going to be it's going to follow a lot of the same design principles that they came up with for Steam Deck. One of the things about Steam Deck that makes it such a compelling product, in my opinion, is that there are multiple versions of it that you can get. There are low end versions, there are high end versions, and one of the very first predictions you made about this headset years ago was that there could be multiple versions of it. Do you feel any more or less certain of that now, based on anything that you've learned recently?
So here's one. I think it's possible, actually. I was a little down previously about this idea, but I think like seeing how, like you said, seeing how well they've handled like having an LCD deck and an OLED deck, I could totally see if this headset does well, them doing something similar there.
Right.
And this is the one of the things that I think the most powerful thing about this, like the Arcturus Industries thing, the camera, the company that Valve is doing camera based tracking with, is they've kind of been hinting that they've been wanting to do licensing of whatever camera tracking they release, similar to how Valve did with Lighthouse. Which, if you don't know, Lighthouse peripherals was just an open license. Valve pretty much paid for any like if you want to license it, Valve would just pay for it. It would be free. You can do whatever you want, whatever, as long as you get the components and train all of it yourself or whatever for Lighthouse. Now, obviously, that was mostly only used by a very select amount of peripheral companies, mostly people who are making full body trackers. And then obviously you would see headsets like Big Screen Beyond and I guess most recently Somnium VR1 and I guess Megan X Shift all these rely on Lighthouse because there's just no possibility for these small companies to make something with camera tracking because they'll make something garbage. It's so hard to do good camera tracking and there's no open license at all.
For the longest time, it was only Meta. Like all of the WMR tracking was garbage for a while. Like Vive, like HTC, it took them forever to get usable inside-out tracking. So you're definitely correct about that. And I think a lot of these companies would move in that direction if there were a standard. And I think that we're starting to see that become kind of a staple of the next gen, like the real next gen, because with Meta opening up their their Horizon platform to multiple manufacturers, and then the stuff that you're talking about here with Valve that they've been working on with this other company, it's again, it's going to be an interesting time for the industry. It's going to be a transformative time, and a time that we may finally see the industry move past these lighthouses.
Yeah, and again, you see Meta, they've been pushing the whole Horizon OS, like we're open, but for the most part, it seems like they're only interested in big companies partnering right now, which is fine, whatever. I think if Valve did basically write the check for this tracking system to be used for whoever, it would just be so good for industry because you would see a big screen. You could potentially see like a Big Screen Beyond 2 with camera tracking. You would see these small companies that are doing their own takes on things be able to like have something they can use, have like kind of the Valve blessing, and have all these things that are normally stopping these small companies from succeeding. Because obviously, if you're Big Screen Beyond, oh yeah, it's pretty a great enthusiast device, but they can't tap into a larger market because they have to rely on people putting up base stations and buying $300 index controllers. It would open so many things up. So even if Valve, let's just say Valve just knocks it out of the park, with just like a well all-rounder, I think again, the bigger sleeping giant is just having this tracking platform that anyone can tap into and use for whatever peripheral or headset they want to make is way more powerful and should not be slept on.
All right, so for the next question, for us to revisit, and then I'll just turn you loose on whatever you want to touch on. With your prior knowledge of the the process, the road to mass production, we now know that they're tooling for EV1 versions of these controllers.
Yep.
Would you anticipate that this is a product we're going to see next year?
So let's if I'm gonna answer that question, but I need to like kind of segue into it.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Do you have the Steam controller picture I sent you?
That one.
Yep, that one. So this is another thing I want to just mention real quick before it's gonna be a long spiel, but it's gonna lead me to the answer of your question.
Okay,
so this is another controller that leaked in the CVR files, by the way. The timing, by the way, was crazy because I literally tweeted 2 weeks ago that there were these two controller codenames, Roy and Ibex, and God, if I knew back then that, that these things would leak in this way, like holy crap, I probably would have just waited. But anyway, yeah, people were skeptical and all this stuff, and then this stuff came out. So this is Ibex, codename Ibex. It's basically a Steam controller too. It's like the Roy controllers. It's clearly they're taking everything they learned from Steam Deck input and they're just smashing it all into one giant gamepad. People have called it. It looks like the Xbox Duke, so I've coined the term Steam Duke controller. But this is in the Steam VR files as well, and I think it's also in the Blender master file as well. It's being used by the company, the tracking company. So it seems like they might be trying to also track this gamepad as well with their tracking system. I don't know if this thing has IR LEDs or whatever, but it being in the SteamVR files the way it is, and then it being in the Blender master file would mean that, hey, if you don't want to use the Roy split gamepad for flat games, looks like they're going to track this as well. Now, the only reason I want to bring this controller up is months ago is when I first heard about these two controller code names, and I didn't believe it at first. Let's just leave it at that. I didn't believe it because people love to screw with me. They love it. They think it's funny. It is funny until it's not. But as things started coming out in data mining, that kind of corroborated what this person was telling me. I was like, holy crap, this is real. And at the time, they were telling me that the Steam controller was at just finishing EV1, and they were already working on EV2, and this was a few months ago at this point. And the only controller that we have in the this render model is based on the EV1 of Ibex, and it's also the same. And they were this source was telling me that Roy was pretty much aligned in the same development stage as Ibex. They didn't say why. They said very basic stuff. I think there's a possibility that Roy even might be further along than EV1 if it's truly being like aligned with the Steam controller and everything. Now the problem is we don't know the status of the headset. Nothing leaked about the headset. We have no idea what status the actual productization status of the headset's in right now. But I would argue if they're kind of pushing for these controllers, especially the Roy controllers, to be productized, they probably have a headset plan as well, because you need a headset with this tracking system to track the controllers. And we've been watching how fast Valve has productized the previous Steam Decks from EV1 to mass production. And I remember even for Steam Deck OLED, we found the first reference to EV2 of the Steam Deck OLED in December of 2022, and they would launch in the fall of 2023. So it's about almost a year or less for them to get to mass production. And if they're working on very similar timescales to that, then theoretically, there's likelihood that we could see something by like end of next year. Is how I kind of feel about it right now. So we
Awesome.
don't have
Okay.
definitive release date proof, but we're just basing on prior comparisons and how these projects right now seem to be developed on their speed. So yeah.
So
Why the Ibex though? So why this controller, Brad? Like Steam has been down this road before with controllers, and they didn't really
Yeah.
have a good success with it. Like it never took off. It never did really well.
Mm.
So why now? Why come out with their own controller now for this?
Yeah, I was wondering that too, and unfortunately, the only way I could see it is they
that
have.
I'm sorry. Go
Yep.
ahead.
No,
I
you go
got
first. You're good.
that is kind of that leads to the kind of larger question, because this clearly, well, not clearly, but this potentially could be, like you said, more than just another Steam controller. This, being a tracked peripheral, really kind of leads to the larger question of what are they trying to do here with this device, this next gen spatial computing gaming device. Like, the obvious answer is that they're going to let you play your flat games in the headset, but it could be more than that, couldn't it? I mean, could they be trying to bring about like a maybe a new form of gaming that's a step in between, full VR and flat gaming, where like maybe trying to bring back the old, failed attempt at 3D gaming back when 3D TVs were a thing, but only now, taking that up to the next level with, you know, um, tracked controllers and kind of spatial inputs where you have these games that come out. They're flat games, but they have a mode where if you're playing them in the headset, not only are they 3D, but you have the option to aim down sights, and maybe it's not a full VR game. Maybe it's on a like a curved, giant screen in front of you. Like, I think that's the most exciting question here is what are they doing? Because I really don't think it's just that they want people to be able to play flat games inside the headset. Like, people can already do that. Like, if they're going out of their way to develop all of these new controllers and not just new controllers, but a new standard for both VR controllers and standard gamepad, they've got to be thinking outside the box of what they're going to be doing with this platform and what it's going to mean for the future of Steam.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Valve will just throw something out there with just the basic flat screen. Like, they'll add their own touch to it, right? They'll add some sort of special touch. That's what Valve does. And even though we don't have details of what that is, I'm fairly sure it'll be something different, right? Like,
True hybrid games. Like, when we talk about hybrid games in the context of what we thought Sony would bring, we're just talking about games that could be played flat or be played in VR. But if you think about it, like a real hybrid game would be something in between VR and flat, and maybe that's what they're working on.
But that's not just them then. That's the developers that make the game. You can't just do that. Like Valve can't just make something. But that would mean
you're right.
that would mean they'd have to have developers on board, and I have not heard of any of that at all. Like, I can tell you right now, I have not heard of any of that. So if they're launching this next year and they're going to have what you have ready for that, I don't see that right now.
Well, it could be one of these situations like, Sony adds new things into the PSVR too, and they do their call of the mountain to show people, this is how you might use it. But it's up to the developers to whether or not they want to adopt that or not. It could be one of those situations like we get Half-Life 3 and they don't make it a full VR game, but they add all of these immersive features. So if you play it in the deckard, it's not a full VR game, but it's 3D, and maybe you can, if you want to use the controllers, you can aim down sights, and you know what I mean. Just turn it into kind of a in between of a light gun shooter, like an old school light gun shooter, and then like a full AAA flat game. And again, this is just me spitballing and conceptualizing, but it could be a situation where they want to lead by example with a blockbuster AAA title, and then see who buys in, right?
Yeah, I don't think Valve is. Here's the one thing that, like, Valve is not really a company that they only released one game for the Index, right? And they didn't care. They just did it, and people loved them for it no matter what. It's possible they might do something like that again, and that's all we get, and they hope that developers do it, and developers might not. Like with the Knuckles controllers, there's like not many games that supported the finger tracking for it, right? But they had it there for anyone that wanted to, and really VR chat and Half-Life Alyx are probably the two main ones that really took advantage of those things. And Valve's, I always try to tell people this, and like you even go back to early talks of Valve talking about how they feel about VR or XR or whatever. They just see it as an experimental medium that they just want to be in. Have these set of tools, let developers tinker with. They don't want to. They've always kind of been against like trying to kickstart it unnaturally, almost like almost an aversion to these type of things that other companies might do. So yeah, I can at least talk about like the 3D thing at the very least, because they did to their SteamVR theater mode that's now been built into SteamVR 2.0 since late last year. Earlier this year, they actually added some back-end ways to enable stereoscopic 3D with that theater mode. And when they added that, I was like, well, they gotta be planning some way to take advantage of that in the future somehow. So at the very end, there's that. But there was also a patent I remember reading years ago that was extremely detailed and never really was used for Index. And it was talking about how they wanted basically overlay an augmented reality workshop, an augmented reality Steam workshop where developers and users would be able to upload special environments, special overlays, special whatever that would interact with the game they were playing. So, like, let's for example say that you're playing World of Warcraft, right? And you enter a zone. Well, you could subscribe to environments that would change your zone based on you entering that and adding certain windows and augmented reality features that would make your game more immersive. And I've always thought that was really interesting and not really have been done by anyone yet. But I could see Valve kind of pushing that, because not only would they just be able to allow the community to do whatever they want and tinker and experiment with stuff, but it would just kind of fit their morality. But yeah, that was just a patent. But I can see Valve just doing just silly stuff like that, and it would be enough for people to be like, oh wow, there's that Half-Life 3 coming out for flat screen, but if I play it in this headset, it's going to give me all these special environments and features and kind of bonuses of how I want to play this game. So yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, and that is kind of maybe one of the more exciting things about this idea to me of bringing, officially bringing the Steam flat library into VR. This year has kind of been a resurgence for PCVR gaming, and it's all because of Praydog's Unreal Engine VR injector. But before that, there was a number of tools that allowed you to play these flat games either in full on VR or in 3D. And this just seems like once the modding community gets a hold of this, even if it's not officially supported, which I think in some capacity 3D gaming probably will end up being supported in this device. But even if it's not fully supported the way that we want it to, I think people will make it work that way, because all of the building blocks are here, and Steam very much still subscribes to that old school PC VR mentality, or old school PC gaming mentality, where you let the users have it and do what they want to with it. And I think that's pretty exciting, where we could see people do things like we used to do with Reshade just last year, but now like have that in as a Steam app that kind of overlays and you know forces 3D. Like we've seen it even recently with these 3D displays, the glasses free
Yeah.
3D displays, where they've kind of worked up to where you can play most of the Steam library in 3D like that, and I think that's phenomenal. I think we'll see similar things for this headset if it turns out to be what we think it's going to be.
Yeah, I look at the Steam Deck, right? I look at like the Decky, they call it the Decky loader. It's like all these plugins made by the community that basically are like, they feel like almost little hacks to get more out of your Steam Deck, and like you download a full list of them, and I'm like, we need more of that for VR. That stuff's like crazy cool. Just having that and having just it's why I like VR chat, and if I can have that kind of feeling but for an entire XR operating system, that will be really special, I think, in itself. So yeah.
Agreed. Exciting times. It's good to see, Eric, that the next gen isn't going to be completely defined by Meta. Not trying to throw shade on Meta or anything, because obviously they've done a lot for the space and they continue to innovate in terms of hardware. But it's nice to see a gaming focused company with a more open mindset about what the possibilities are for the platform, doing something completely different, even if we don't know entirely what that is yet. Like it's exciting.
Yeah, no, it is. And, if it does launch next year, Brad, they are not going to be the
Yeah.
only ones that launch next year. And we don't know what that other headset will look like exactly. And I do believe, Valve is always going to be a gaming first, headset. They're not going to be an Apple Vision Pro that doesn't have controllers. They're not going to be a workflow headset. It is going to be a gaming headset, but there will be other headsets that come out next year, probably more than just one other. And they will most likely have gaming in them. Will this be standalone gaming? Is the other question for me too. And like, what does that look like? And will this be, what kind of chip will this run? What kind, will I be able to remotely log in to my computer using or the Steam Deck and use that to run the headset? Will it run on an XR2 chip? I'm just curious as to like because what we have seen here is the controllers, but I don't know anything about the headset. Like,
Yeah.
I still don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know how big it's going to be. I don't know, what the weight is. Is it going to be wired, not wired? What's the connection to the Steam Deck? Because I do very, very, very much believe that this thing is going to work in conjunction with the Steam Deck in some big time way. Like, I believe that
or
it's
maybe a
going to
next
function.
gen Steam Deck, right? Or a
Yeah,
next
yeah,
gen.
maybe, yeah, 100%. Maybe not the current version we have now. Maybe maybe they're going to ship a new Steam Deck next year. That's very possible. But I do believe that you're going to see a big connection between these two things, kind of like what Pimax tried to do with their Portal or whatever the hell they called that thing that they were going to try and do with the Crystal headset. But I mean, I think Valve could actually pull it off, and I think it would be super cool. So there's a ton of unanswered questions as to what this thing is going to look like, but Steam, Valve being involved with another headset, we know Google and Samsung are coming with another headset. I've alluded to that already. We're probably going to see at least one other headset next year from another company.
Nintendo, maybe
I
not
think
next
that's
year.
Yeah, I think that's super exciting for what we're looking for what what we're going to see. I think we're going to have some more workflow headsets like the Apple Vision Pro or closer, probably between the Quest Pro and Apple Vision Pro. But I definitely think we're going to have some more gaming headsets, and that's good for us. That's anything we get more for gaming, and things that have controllers is good for us.
Yeah, I kind of like the joke that, like, even if Deckard isn't something I want, at least I got a headset I want, and maybe other headsets that are coming out that I want. Like, it's a pretty good time for hardware. And the problem is, I think the things people don't like about certain headsets right now are purely because they're just not in that ecosystem. But every ecosystem is coming to this XR medium, which will be great for everyone. So, yeah,
I agree with
Could
that.
we see a very active CES this year?
I doubt it.
I've been thinking the CES it was so bad last year that like I'm like, oh man, like I don't even know what CES is anymore for the XR industry and what if it's even worth going there for it. But like,
Yeah.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
think I'm going this year. I think I'm going to go to GDC instead. I can't go to all of them. I can't afford to just go to every one of these. So I think I'm going to go to GDC instead of CES this year.
Yeah, I mean, we've had years though where CES has been a pretty good hotbed for hardware. Especially a couple of years ago when PlayStation kind of unveiled their headset there for the first time. But we've seen Pimax come out with headsets there. We've seen Vario come out with headsets there. So
Pimax, Pimax, I think already announced that they're unveiling something at, or maybe they're demoing one of the things that they just announced at CES. So yeah,
I know they'll definitely have a booth. I know that for sure.
yeah, Pimax is going to be demoing new tech at CES, and NVIDIA is going to be heavily involved at CES this year.
Hmm. I'm gonna go. I wasn't gonna go until just recently, and I just got my press pass, so I am gonna go.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to go. I might put in for my pass just in case something pops up in the last minute and
PlayStation VR 3 is
you can
announced,
visit
and
me.
all of a sudden you got to run.
Yeah,
You gotta
that's not
go.
happening. We're still in the first half of that life cycle. We're not on the 3-year meta cycle for that. Like that one's just getting started. Anyway, Brad, we're already running well over an hour here. Is there anything else any angle that we have failed to attack this thing from?
I guess
Flip
the
through
main one
some.
again is I just want to reiterate kind of our last stream we had together, where we were talking about a huge list of games that were being built to translate and combat it. Like, they were translating Windows x86 flat and VR games to Linux ARM, which ARM is processors like Qualcomm, Apple, all that stuff.
And that kind of ties into what Eric was just asking about, right? Like what the standalone functionality might be in this thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So that is a thing. They're also doing translation of Android ARM to Linux ARM. And the interesting thing about those is that seems to be what they're targeting VR game developers to upload their like OpenXR Quest type builds to this compatibility layer because they want to. They basically, if you already uploaded an OpenXR Android build onto Quest, you probably already did a lot of like, what's the word, like performance testing, right? With a like standalone chip. Valve seems to think that it'll be easy for developers who have already developed for Quest to be able to grab that build if it's built in Android OpenXR and then put it onto this Steam store with this compatibility layer that will just run directly on their Linux ARM device of some sort. And those are all VR games that they're testing for that.
So basically what you're saying is they're running like a dual compatibility layer so that not only will this be the standalone device that runs Steam VR, you know, in a similar way to the way that Steam Deck runs Steam games, but also provide an easy way for standalone VR games to be ported in without having to do a full Steam VR port. Am I reading you right? Okay.
100%. Yep. That is, again, we talked all about that our last big stream together. And I think, again, with like what we're seeing with these controllers and things getting closer, it kind of breathes more evidence to what we were talking about there. Just one more thing, because I keep seeing chat asking. When I was mentioning earlier that we have hints of eye and face tracking for Deckard, we actually got those hints from data mining the Steam Link drivers from the server side of PC, because they list all the headsets that Steam Link supports. Obviously, it links Quest 2, Quest 3, Quest Pro, and now Quest 3S. It also lists a bunch of Pico headsets, Pico 3, Pico 4, and some other later Pico headsets. But they also actually list Deckard as well. There's a whole section in Steam Link for Deckard, which means that Steam Link is already supporting Deckard. And Deckard actually asked for the same eye and face tracking calls that they built for Quest Pro, which there's the only two headsets in Steam Link that are requesting those calls via the Steam Link server. So yes, it will be able to connect to a PC wirelessly, and that is why we are starting to believe that it might have face tracking as well because of that little tidbit there. So yeah,
beautiful. Exciting times, Brad. But you know, exciting times in your personal life, exciting times in our work life, both you and us, and then exciting times in the industry. Man, I can't wait to see what 2025 has in store. Anyway, thank you for staying up late, which I guess you're well rested, so you're just getting started with your day. I think Eric's going to start fading on me pretty quickly here if we don't get into this game and start playing. But thanks, Brad, for stopping by. It's been fun and informative as always, and hopefully we'll see you again very, very soon.
Hopefully. Thank you. Thank
Brad,
you.
Miss you, man.
Thank you. Oh God. Thank you.
All right, bye, Brad. Everyone, tell Brad bye. Bye, Brad.
Bye. Goodbye. I'll miss you all.
All right, so Brad's going to. Well, it didn't break it. I thought Brad leaving was going to break our OBS capture here, but it seems to be holding up. Awesome. So, you guys heard me allude to at the top of the show where we're going on Friday this week instead of Saturday because it's a mandatory live stream. Since I last did an episode, I've had a bunch of keys come into my inbox, a bunch of new games, mostly Steam games, but not all. And of course, me being the degenerate game junkie that I am, knowing that I'm not doing regular episodes, I accepted most of them, and they're all in my library now. But this one in particular came to me from Keymailer, which is a key distribution services that a lot of content creators use to get review keys to both flat games and VR games. But Keymailer works a little bit differently. They have requirements of you. When you take a key, you have to agree that you're going to cover the game, and then they give you like a month to cover it. Um, but this game's been out for a while now, and I saw it in my inbox. I was going back through my emails this past weekend. I just clicked through without reading the terms and accepted the key. And then after I accepted it, I realized that I had like 4 days to do content on it. So today's the last day for me to cover Starship Troopers without getting a black mark on my record with Keymailer. So we're here on Friday instead of Saturday. And Eric, I think we both played this game a little bit at this point. We haven't played it a ton. Um, but it's an interesting one, man. Like at the beginning, it seems like it's going to be a pretty basic linear wave shooter type arcade style game. But then when you get into it a little bit, you start fighting bosses, and you start looking at the progression systems that they've built into it. Um, it gets a little bit funner after you sit with it for a little while, doesn't it?
It does, and I was the same way with you. Like I was started this thing, and I'm like, man, if this thing doesn't get going, this is just like a pretty basic shooter here that kind of looks like shit. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Yeah,
It's not ugly by any means.
it
it's
looks like
just
a basic
Look,
Quest Two.
a very base,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like, yeah, for me, like, I looked at this and I'm like, there is nothing here that, like, is just stands out, other than the fact that, I mean, it does feel like Starship Troopers. It just doesn't it's just not like, I don't know, it's just ugly. That's I mean, I can't it's the best way to explain it. It's just kinda ugly. I mean, it's not terrible. It's not like the worst good game I've ever seen. It's just not super pretty, and in the beginning, it's just very boring. It just like seems just like rinsed, but there is progression and it does get deeper. And I do like the boss battles, and I think we're just about to start to see where we kind of get in a little bit deeper to it. There's a bit of a
Well,
story here too.
we are going to have to kind of take a step back, unfortunately,
That's true.
because there's this thing with Quest. There's a bug where if you cast from a secondary account, so like you have the account that owns the device, and then you have the secondary accounts. So the way that my device is set up is that the virtual strangers account owns the device, and my personal account is a secondary account, and I
Mm,
normally play on my account. So when I played this game, I played on my account. I progressed through a couple of levels, but when I tried to cast, when I was testing for the episode, there's this bug when you cast from a secondary account, the game audio doesn't come through. So I wasn't able to cast from my game save. What I had to do is I had to go into the virtual strangers account, start all over again. I did manage to work my way through most of the tutorial before show, so we're not going to have to look at that
mm.
again. But we are going to have to run the first full mission again, which we should be able to run through pretty
Yeah,
quickly.
I think we'll be able to get through it pretty quick.
And
What did so? Let me just ask you before we get in here, and I know we can probably talk about this in the game too, but somebody just said here, it looks like a lot like Arizona Sunshine, but not the new Arizona Sunshine. This game
no,
looks like the old Arizona Sunshine, um, like when I first started playing it, I'm like, I almost didn't, I almost stopped playing it. Like literally, I was like, wow,
yeah.
this is not like I'm glad that I gave it the time it needed just to get into it to see it does have a little bit of depth to it, but yeah, this is, I mean, in the beginning, I mean, I don't know, like, what do you
I
think of this studio that what they're doing here all of a sudden?
Yeah, I don't know, man. XR Games, they were a new studio a few years back, and they released some solid work that they developed a pretty good reputation for themselves. And then over the course of the last couple of years, they've expanded their studio. They've taken on a lot of projects at one time, and it seems like maybe the quality level has dropped a little bit. With that said, though, I've only scratched the surface of this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there are good things about it. Like I said, the progression is pretty in depth for this style of game. It has a pretty good roguelike style progression system, which I thought you'd kind of really dig. And
Yeah.
the guns feel good, even though the guns are kind of simple. The guns do feel good to shoot and reload and all of that. It all feels pretty good. Um, Neither of us, I don't think either of us have tried playing this in co-op yet.
Nope.
And
Nope.
this
It'll be the
could be
first
one
time.
of those games that just really shines with a friend.
Agreed.
So we're gonna see, but I don't know, man. I was happy to see that they delayed the Zombie Army game into next year.
Mm,
We were hearing some mixed things about it coming out of Gamescom. That was supposed to have launched, a long time ago at this point, and they pushed it into 2025. They've laid off some people, which you never like to hear, but uh, I kind of I'm kind of glad to hear that maybe they're getting back to their core team again and working on one game at a time. I kind of feel like that's a good next step, um, following up on what happened with the Hitman game they launched a few months back.
yeah, I mean that's tough, man. You like they grab some really big games, like especially Hitman, like and the size of that game and like the importance of that game, and they missed on that one. Like maybe they should have not done this one and just done Hitman, right? Like or I don't
Right.
know. It's not like they picked easy games to go do. Hitman's a freaking huge game. It's like there's just a lot there, and
Hitman,
like to
Zombie
try and
Army,
push
and
it. Yeah.
Hitman, Zombie Army, and Starship Troopers. These are all franchises, and the games they did before Zombieland. I think they
Hmm.
did an Angry Birds game, Angry Birds Under Attack or whatever it was called, Under
Hmm.
Pressure. They've always been a studio that somehow has managed to get a hold of these big IPs. Um, I just think they probably bit off a little bit more than they can chew, basically.
Definitely. Definitely.
Anyway, we're going to break off here for a minute, ladies and gentlemen, and get inside the headset. I'm going to put you all off on the intermission, let you guys watch. I think Into Black's what's currently queued up on the intermission reel. While Eric and I get in the headset and get connected up, will probably be 5 or 10 minutes at least. But when we come back, we'll be playing Starship Troopers Continuum co-op and reviewing it in real time. Um, Now, a reminder that this is the Quest version of the game. It's not out on PlayStation VR 2 yet, nor PC. I don't think it's out on Steam yet either. So there will be no chat inside the headset for us. We'll try to take breaks from time to time as the action allows to stop and interact with the chat. But if you guys are trying to say something to us, we're not ignoring you. We can't see it inside the Quest headset, unfortunately. Um, I'm kind of hopeful, Eric. They just announced that new integration with Windows 11.
Mm.
I'm hopeful that that will in some way allow us to pull YouTube chat into that headset and pin it. Um,
Or at least
Time will
get a
tell.
Discord chat or something. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Meta. I don't know.
Anyways, I guess we just need to start streaming on Facebook. Give up and start streaming through Facebook.
Yikes.
I'm not
Yikes.
going to do
To
that.
all the 10 people that are watching YouTube streaming
I'm not
or
going to do
Facebook
that.
streaming. You
I
better,
think
we'd
I
be
am
better
good.
off going to Kick.
I think we are going to expand into to Twitter next year, though. I think
Twitter's really good, man. I got to tell you, like, I mean, I don't have a ton of followers on Twitter. I think I'm like 2,600 followers on Twitter on my personal Twitter, but I do stream there. And Restream unfortunately does not pull Twitter numbers into your overall numbers, so I can't see how many people are live. But normally, I get between 100 and 200 people watch on Twitter. So for some reason, people just seem to scroll Twitter and then they stop and they see because you don't see a lot of live videos on Twitter, of well, especially podcasts. So people just happen to stop and watch. So I get more than I get in YouTube. We'll get on Twitter.
yeah, I think that as Twitter continues to evolve, that they need to create a video homepage. So something that kind of filters off live video so that people can more easily scroll and find out what's to watch on Twitter, and then they can actually really become um, a viable competitor to Google and YouTube.
Yeah.
Right now, you have to scroll forever, and you just happen to chance upon a live stream, and you'll catch it. I don't. When I say we're going to expand into Twitter, I don't mean exclusively. I mean that
Yeah.
we're going to multi-stream into Twitter. Um, so at some point in 2025, it's one of the things I'm planning on
And
doing.
I will not be going to Blue Sky. I'm telling you right now. Like I'm
Nope.
just not. I don't have anything
Nope.
against Blue Sky. I'm done. I'm not. I don't need any more social media, and I don't need the flavor of the month social media. Just like Threads was flavor of the month. Everybody told me
Yep.
Threads was a good place to go, and I had to go get a Threads account. And now everybody was like, "Oh, pissed off," and they got to go get a Blue Sky account. Blue Sky will last 15 minutes, guys,
Yep.
and then you'll all be back on Twitter again. Trust me.
Yep. And Twitter's the only social media app that I've ever really messed with at all. I'm very comfortable there. I'm very familiar with it, and most of the companies and people that I want to follow are on there. So
Social media is social media. Like none of them are going to be perfect. Like I know everybody gets pissed off at like, oh, my feed's full of this or it's all political. Like guys, just take what you want from it and then
yeah,
leave the rest. Because the same thing
exactly.
with Facebook, the same thing with Twitter, same thing with Instagram, same thing with Blue Sky or Threads. You're going to see shit there you don't want to see. Just scroll past it and move on. Don't stay on it because then you won't get it. You won't get populated in your feed more often. But if you think Blue Sky is going to be any better than anywhere else, I mean, it's all garbage anyway, but you use it and don't let it use you because that's what people do. They let it live in their heads. Like you use it. Don't let your social media use you. You use the social media. Use it for what you want. Enjoy it for what you want. And then whatever else is there that you don't want, just scroll past it and don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. You control your feed. If your sensibilities are too if you're sensitive to stuff like that and people expressing different views or different things that you don't like seeing, then just unfollow, block. You don't have to see it, right? Anyways,
Great.
let's get in these headsets here. Again, we'll be gone probably close to 10 minutes while we switch over. Eric, there's no need for us to stay connected in the chat the thing here. Yeah, all of the audio is going to come through the Quest feed now. Just watch your DMs. I don't know how
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't know
Connection
how the
goes.
multiplayer connects. So if there's like
Mhm.
a room code or something, I'll send it to you in text. Um, if not, just watch your notifications in the headset. If I can send you an invite, I'll just do it that way. Anyways, we'll be back in just a moment, ladies and gents. In the meantime, please enjoy Into Black.
Cool.
Well, hello there, friends, and welcome Into Black. I'm, of course, playing from my MetaQuest 3, capturing the stream through my web browser to my computer. So we're casting to the internet, displaying it on the computer with the browser, and capturing via OBS. So, yeah, we're covering this game a little bit later today. I haven't done anything for you patrons in a while. Obviously, with Roots going on his his hiatus, his break, and not knowing when he's ever going to come back. It's made things a little bit more difficult. It was already difficult to do shows, a little more difficult these days. And I think we've managed pretty well without him. And I'm not saying that it's that much harder, but what is harder is being able to put together extras for you guys, and I don't like that. I promise you guys insider updates and content and show notes and all that stuff. And as you know, it's been a little bit So we're getting back into playing some games this week. And while I typically don't like to do content from Quest, I'm doing it because I want to. I mean, not only do I need the footage for the show tonight, but I also want to do something exclusive for you. Now, why don't I do Quest content more often? Well, the audio, honestly, is the reason why. The audio tends to go out of sync while you're playing on Quest, or it always did before. And this has always been the case, and it was the case last time I checked. But that said, it's been a while. Maybe it works now. Maybe it'll be out of sync, but not by much. We're gonna give it a shot for you all, and play what promises to be a pretty awesome Quest 3 game here in Into Black. So thank you all for hanging in there, continuing to support, even though you're just supporting me pretty much now. I appreciate you. I do. It might not seem like it all the time, but I really appreciate your support. It's very, very helpful. Anyway, let's see what kind of options we got. We're definitely going to smooth turn. Turn that speed up. Too bad you can't test it here. 400% now. Well, let's start at 200 and we'll turn it up from there if we need to. 205, whatever. Movement. On or exclusive? I wonder if I can. Because if I can just have it to where I use both, that would be perfect. So I think maybe leaving teleport on will let me do it, but won't make it to where I can only teleport. I think exclusive would be only teleport. And we're going to leave underwater teleport off, at least for now, until I know what that means. Haptic shrink all the way up. Very good. Audio. Oh, okay. That's more than I'm used to seeing. Well, I guess this is a co-op game, too. Subtitles. Wrist UI size is huge. Damage number is normal. So all of this stuff we need to remember that we can adjust it if we don't like how it's set up. And then there's our license. All right. Profile 1. Profile 1, level 1. Okay. So you can just add more game saves, it looks like. That's cool. Alright, let's go. We're right-handed. We like hybrid locomotion, smooth turn, and yeah, we'll leave the subtitles on in case the audio quality isn't that good for you all. Nice clear loading screens and menu screens, so looks good graphically so far. I have high expectations for this. Comes from a good studio.
You awake, Mitch? We're almost there.
Roger. I'll be out in a sec.
Roger. I'll be out in a sec. Alright, let's see what we got here. Oh wow, the movement speed is fast.
Cup of coffee to start your day?
No thanks, Jonathan.
A couple of frames drop right at the front, but everything seems to be smooth now. I think the turn speed could be up a little bit. Let's see. Let's go to settings. Turn that up to 300. And we'll turn off always sprint because sprinting is fucking fast, dude. Let's try that out and see how that feels. Okay, yeah, that's better. The walk speed feels like a typical game sprints, which is good. I like fast movement. And then, is it pushing the Yeah, you push in the stick to sprint. Yeah, okay, good. You know, I could deal with a little more turn speed, even though that's pretty comfortable. I think 400 might be the way to go. Yeah, I can't really tell the difference between 400 and 300, to be honest. Not much. All right, cool. I think we're good to go. Good looking game so far. It's this pretty cool hybrid art style where it's not 100% realistic. It's got a like a comic booky art style, but I wouldn't call it like cel shaded. Like they're using a lot of like lighting and techniques and reflections and stuff that remind me of some of the stuff that they do in Red Matter. Although I mean, this is clearly faked lighting. It's not real time. The reflections look good though on these reflective surfaces. But pretty good looking game so far. Oh wow, I accidentally triggered that teleport a couple times. I didn't mean to. If that happens very much, I'll just disable it altogether. Make sure I'm recording. I am recording. Alright, good. Yes, we need to go to the bridge over there.
Ada, how close are we to the asteroid?
Coming up on it in a minute. Oh, not again.
What's the problem?
It's that faulty engine coupling.
I'll take a look.
Alright, we have to check the drive. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that we are back. I believe you can all hear me. We are now coming to you live from my MetaQuest 3. Of course, disclaimer, streaming is never all that reliable from MetaQuest 3, so if there's some latency in the audio or the game audio, we should just be grateful that we have game audio at all, which I think we do. You wouldn't
get the federally recommended 4 hours of sleep. Remember, a drowsy trooper
confirmed.
is a dead trooper.
Confirmed. Game audio confirmed. Let me get my chat up on my main screen here so I can peek out at you every now and again as I get the chance. All right, beautiful. All right, so it's going to be just a minute before I can get Eric into the game. As I was mentioning before, I was forced to start over, so there's a few things I have to do here before I can start a multiplayer match. And the first thing is this the Continuum over
The
here.
uplink is a galactic phone for some, but a backdoor connection to the Continuum for us. Scan yourself in.
And if you all can hear that,
Currently daytime. Check your timepiece and maintain your routine.
if you all can hear that echo that comes with the narration sometimes, that's actually in the game. I don't know if that's intentional or some kind of a glitch or bug, but when your kind of helper voice comes to give you instructions, it does this even throughout the tutorial. You'll hear it talk, and then you'll hear like 2 or 3 echoes of it. It sounds like in the distance from both sides, which is a little bit disorienting, to tell you the truth. But this is the upgrade terminal.
In the Continuum, you can upgrade your troopers, amongst other things. To do this, implant perks into them. Perks are psychic skills that improve your trooper. Go on, pick a perk for your host.
So the concept of the game here is that you are a super trooper. You are kind of possessing the bodies of these regular troopers and using your skills to help them progress. So each time you possess one of these guys, they have like um, a roguelike system here where you can upgrade skills and abilities. But when you die, you have to pick a new trooper to possess, and everything starts over. This is completely randomized here, which 3 perks that I have to choose from, like most roguelites. So since I'm level 1 now, I'll get to pick a perk. When I get enough XP to level up to level 2, I'll get another perk, and so on and so forth. So let's see what we have. What we have to choose from here. We have Shotgun Pro, which your shotgun critical damage increases by 10.8%. Your semi-automatic weapon base damage increases by 5.4. I like that. I like that the base damage is being increased. Sure Hands. Your manual reload damage bonus increases by 15.4%. This is definitely the one I'm going to take. So the way this game works is they have an automatic reload, and they suggest that to people to use. But if you're adept enough to use the manual reload, you get a damage bonus. And of course, I always use the manual reload. So this 15.4% damage bonus is going to be quite helpful. So we've got this. We're going to press A to equip it.
Good. When a trooper under your control ranks up, come to the Continuum to add another perk. One more thing. Each trooper has their own career goals. The fastest way to level up and rank troopers and perks is to complete career goals. If you complete all of a trooper's career goals, make them a citizen and take a new host.
All right. So just really quickly, these are all the perks that you can unlock. There's quite a few, as you can see. There's super perks over here, which I haven't gotten to yet, which I'm sure will be super badass when I get to them. These are all level 1 perks, by the way, as well. I'm sure that once I level up even more, that I'll have even higher levels of these perks available to me. Trooper data. This is just the base data on the trooper that I'm currently possessing, the weapons that he has, the perks that he has. Customization, they really don't let you change a lot. You can change the outfit pretty much for those of you who care about stuff like that. And then citizenship is something that we will unlock after we run the first mission. Next thing to do is to go over to check out the weapons depot, the armory.
If you're looking for the armory, you found it. You can stop looking like a lost puppy now. I'm in charge here. I can get you kitted out with whatever guns or
Ventriloquist.
grenades you need. But don't mess me around. Browse the screen and tap your chip on the scanner to pay when you're done. Makes sense?
What makes sense is how you're talking without moving your face, lady. So this is where you buy your weapons at. I only have 3,000 cash to start with.
Yeah, take a look. Any edge you can give yourself, that's what you need.
So anything I'll be able to afford, as you can see, is going to be a downgrade. This submachine gun provides some upgrades, but I think I've got just a standard rifle, assault rifle on me right now, which I typically prefer to use. Secondary weapons.
Take a look. Any edge you can give yourself, that's what you need.
There's only one pistol unlocked right now, and I already have it. And then you can buy more frag grenades.
Any edge you can give yourself, that's what you need.
Which I already have the ability and capacity to carry 4 of these level 1 frag grenades. So as you level up, more and more will become available in here to buy. And we'll also earn more and more money the more missions we run. Alright, now let's run over here and see if we can...
Recruit is our hero of the hour. Welcome to the front. I'll have missions for you and your squad here in the command tent. You can join and create squads here too. When you're ready, there's a mission with your name on it.
There's a mission with your name on it. All right. So we're going to try to squad up with Eric here. We are going to go to friends. I guess Eric must not be friends with the virtual strangers account. How dare you, Eric, not be friends with the virtual strangers account. All right. We're going to do campaign. And squad, we're going to create a lobby. And all right, so we have a room code here. Please, no one join until I get Eric in here, and then it looks like there's another slot. If somebody wants to slide in after Eric gets in, feel free. All right, bear with me just a moment while I send Eric this room code. La, da, 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 da. Maybe he's watching. Maybe he'll see it before I can type it in. Good night, Hip Elf. Thanks for stopping by. I just had a random join me. Stop joining me, randos. N9 Q K 96. Go. No. Nope. Wait. All right, I'm gonna have to disband because these dudes have now hijacked my game. Why can't we do a private lobby, people? Oh, is it not gonna let me? All right, so it let me disband. I thought it would. Come on. Come on. All right, disband. Stop it. Leave me alone. Man, these controls are jank as they can be. All right, the dude left. All right, try now. So that's a good way to go about it when people join you don't want to play with. Just, oh, they're back. Son of a bitch. Stop joining me. Well, they don't make it easy, do they? What's happening? I didn't ready up. What the hell? Sorry guys, I'm gonna have to. I'm
Can
gonna
you hear
have.
me?
I'm gonna have to drop. I'm trying to. I'm on a stream trying to connect with my
Cool.
friend, so I'm gonna have to drop out. Sorry. All right, I'm gonna have to try to friend Eric or something. I don't know. This trying to do it in a public lobby is not working out. So let's go to people. Mash Daddy Cool, and I'm gonna send a follow request. And I'm gonna try to call him while I'm at it. Says he's offline. All right, let's see here. View profile. I'm following him. Maybe follow me back. All right. Let's get back in the game and see if that makes a difference. Friends. Still nothing on the friends list. Just bear with me just a minute. People, I am chatting with them on Discord. All right, we're going to start a new lobby here with Eric ready to join. Hopefully, you can be quick enough before people join. All right, 9D99JW. 9D99JW. See, there should be a toggle right here where I should be able to lock it down so that just randos can't join. Ah, we got him. Eric is in the lobby, ladies and gentlemen. We did it. We did it. This is where we need roots with the we did it button. So if anybody's watching and wants to jump in now, 9D99JW. That's 9 David, 99 John Wesley. I don't know why it's got me like waiting. Maybe I can just go back. Oh, there we go. We've got a third one now. KN Keyblade Hero. Now, when I went in earlier, and just clicked on campaign. It had me on this please wait finding game screen forever. And I don't know what the deal is with that. But I was able to just back out and start a mission the last time it did it. So if this doesn't go fairly quickly, that's what I'm going to do here. There we go. Are we all here? We are all here.
Hey, I made it. I'm in.
Awesome. What's up, Eric?
Hello.
Hello, KN Keyblade Hero. We're streaming on YouTube
Wes,
right
can
now.
you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me? Yeah,
I cannot hear you at all.
I can hear you. Can you hear me, KN Keyblade? Can you hear me? No, neither of them
Yeah,
can
I
hear
can't
me.
hear if you're talking, Wes. I can't hear you at all.
All right, hold on. Settings. Audio.
Stupid ass Wi-Fi, man.
Voice chat. UI volume. Everything seems to be set correctly. Can you, those of you in the chat, you can hear me, right?
Can you guys hear me? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't hear Wes at all.
Yeah, I can hear you.
And my Wi-Fi disconnected. I'm gonna disconnect for like 10 seconds and rejoin.
Okay, let me see if maybe I gotta go into here and can you hear me now? Oh, wait, you can't hear me now. Can you hear me now, Eric? No. Can the people in the chat, can you hear me? Yes, people just say yes. So I assume that means yes, you can hear me. Yeah, so it's weird. I don't know why you guys can't hear me, but you can hear each other.
Pick an easy one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what why you can't. I can't hear you at all, Wes.
I don't know. The chat can hear me. Let me.
You're not in like an Oculus call or anything, are you?
No.
I don't know.
Maybe we should get on one though.
That is weird, man.
Hold on, I'm gonna.
Did you check your settings at all, man? Make sure your mic is on. Okay.
Yeah. The chat can hear me.
You know what's cool is I can see you actually shaking your head like you're saying yes and no, which is cool. Maybe we should do an Oculus call then if you can't hear me. I wonder if will the stream be able to hear that? Yeah. All right. Let's try it.
Hello? Hello?
What a dick this guy is, huh? There we go. Can you hear me now? What a dick this guy is, eh? He's shooting me. I'm trying to get a hold of you in the Oculus menu, and he's just shooting me and shit, and blowing me up with grenades while. But yeah, fuck him. All right, so now you can hear me. That's all that matters. Chat. The chat can hear me, and the only thing that they're getting audio from is from the Quest stream. So they could even hear me. I know the Quest has got my audio. My settings, I double checked. They're all good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. Can the people in the chat, can you hear Eric? Eric, say something. Let me see if it bounces. No. No, it's go again. No, you can't. They can't. Do you want to? Shit, man, I don't know what to do unless we want to just leave the game and come back in and try it again. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do, ladies and gents, I'm going to connect with Eric now before I start casting. I'm going to throw you guys back into the intermission, and I'm going to try to connect with Eric first, and then start casting to the Oculus browser, and see if that makes a difference in any way. I can hear Eric now. We're on like a private Oculus call, but apparently it won't let you stream that through the browser, so you guys can't hear him. But we're going to try to reconnect in a different order and see if that helps. So we will be right back. Apologies for the difficulties, but I guess it wouldn't be an episode if we didn't have some kind of difficulties, would it? We'll be right back. Son of a bitch. Well, hello there, friends, and welcome into Black. I am, of course, playing from my MetaQuest 3, capturing the stream through my web browser to my computer. So we're casting to the internet, displaying it on the computer with the browser, and capturing via OBS. So yeah, we're covering this game a little bit later today. I haven't done anything for you patrons in a while. Obviously with the with Roots going on his his hiatus, his break, and not knowing when he's ever going to come back. It's made things a little bit more difficult. It was already difficult to do shows, a little more difficult these days. And I think we've managed pretty well without him, and I'm not saying that it's that much harder, but what is harder is being able to put together extras for you guys, and I don't like that. I promise you guys insider updates and content and show notes and all that stuff, and as you know, it's been a little bit better. So we're getting back into playing some games this week, and while I typically don't like to do content from Quest, I'm doing it because not only do I need the footage for the show tonight, but I also want to do something exclusive for you. Now, why don't I do Quest content more often? Well, the audio, honestly, is the reason why. The audio tends to go out of sync while you're playing on Quest, or it always did before. And this has always been the case, and it was the case last time I checked. But that said, it's been a while. Maybe it works now. Maybe it'll be out of sync, but not by much. We're going to give it a shot for you all, and play what promises to be a pretty awesome Quest 3 game here and Into Black. So thank you all for hanging in there, continuing to support, even though you're just supporting me pretty much now. I appreciate you. I do. It might not seem like it all the time, but I really appreciate your support. It's very, very helpful. Anyway, let's see what kind of options we got. We're definitely going to smooth turn. Turn that speed up. Too bad you can't test it here. 400% now. Well, let's start at 200 and we'll turn it up from there if we need to. 205, whatever. Movement. On or exclusive? I wonder if I can... Because if I can just have it to where I'd use both, that would be perfect. So I think maybe leaving teleport on will let me do it, but won't make it to where I can only teleport. I think exclusive would be only teleport. And we're going to leave underwater teleport off, at least for now, until I know what that means. Haptic shrink all the way up. Very good. Audio. Oh, okay. That's more than I'm used to seeing. Well, I guess this is a co-op game, too. Subtitles. Wrist UI size is huge. Damage numbers normal. So all of this stuff we need to remember that we can adjust it if we don't like how it's set up. And then there's our license. All right. Profile 1. Profile 1, level 1. Okay. So you can just add more game saves, it looks like. That's cool. Alright, let's go. We're right-handed. We like hybrid locomotion, smooth turn, and yeah, we'll leave the subtitles on in case the audio quality isn't that good for you all. Nice clear loading screens and menu screens, so looks good graphically so far. I have high expectations for this. Comes from a good studio.
You awake, Mitch? We're almost there.
Roger. I'll be out in a sec.
Roger. I'll be out in a sec. Alright, let's see what we got here. Oh wow, the movement speed is fast.
Cup of coffee to start your day?
No thanks, Jonathan.
A couple of frames drop right at the front, but everything seems to be smooth now. I think the turn speed could be up a little bit. Let's see. Let's go to settings. Turn that up to 300. And we'll turn off always sprint because sprinting is fucking fast, dude. Let's try that out and see how that feels. Okay, yeah, that's better. The walk speed feels like a typical game sprints, which is good. I like fast movement. And then, is it pushing the... Yeah, you push in the stick to sprint. Yeah, okay, good. You know, I could deal with a little more turn speed, even though that's pretty comfortable. I think 400 might be the way to go. Yeah, I can't really tell the difference between 400 and 300, to be honest. Not much. All right, cool. I think we're good to go. Good looking game so far. It's this pretty cool hybrid art style where it's not 100% realistic. It's got a like a comic booky art style, but I wouldn't call it like cel shaded. Like they're using a lot of like lighting and techniques and reflections and stuff that remind me of some of the stuff that they do in Red Matter. Although I mean, this is clearly faked lighting. It's not real time. The reflections look good though on these reflective surfaces. But pretty good looking game so far. Oh wow, I accidentally triggered that teleport a couple times. I didn't mean to. that happens very much, I'll just disable it altogether. Make sure I'm recording. I am recording. Alright, good. Yes, we need to go to the bridge over there.
Ada, how close are we to the asteroid?
Coming up on it in a minute. Oh, not again.
What's the problem?
It's that faulty engine coupling.
I'll take a look.
Alright, we have to check the drive core. I'm just exploring. 'Tis my nature. Alright, where's the drive core? Back where we came from?
Manual labor, eh? Shall I prepare your dungarees?
No, thank you, Jonathan. This should be fixable.
It doesn't need fixing, it needs replacing. I told you that at the last spaceport.
And I told you we couldn't afford it.
Oh, but we could afford a stupid little personal assistant robot.
Jonathan has been very helpful so far, all right?
Sorry to intrude,
okay.
sir, but it's
Space
almost
puzzles.
time for your morning bathroom break. Shall I pre-warm the toilet seat?
No, thank you, Jonathan.
Truly invaluable.
That should do it.
It'll hold for now. Get back to the bridge. We're coming up on that asteroid.
Ada's being awfully pushy already, huh? Well, it was gonna let me teleport for a minute.
Dropping
There
out
we
of
go.
warp in 3, 2, 1.
There it
That
is.
was cool.
Archimedes. Any idea what it is yet?
A scan will confirm, but I believe this might be the first recorded instance of naturally occurring dark matter.
This could be the big one.
The energy signature is so faint. It's a miracle we were able to detect it at all.
You mean a miracle I was able to detect it?
Now, we're a team on this ship. This is everyone's discovery. That said, I'm definitely claiming all the glory.
We're in scanner range.
We're in scanner range. Alright, let's go. Grab this. Move it on up. Alright, alright. On down. Alright, stop me automatically. Scan the rock.
Fascinating. This matter seems to possess unique characteristics. Almost as if...
What's wrong? Is it that coupling again?
No, it's an energy surge. Engaging thrusters.
Energy surge? From where?
It's the dark matter. It appears to be undergoing some kind of fusion.
It's expanding too fast. Activating warp drive.
What the hell is that?
Jumping in 3,
Oh no!
2.
What's going on? Ada, can you hear me? Archimedes! Anyone?
Oh, cool. That was a cool effect.
My head. Good morning.
What the hell?
Problem, Captain?
The ship is on fire!
Indeed. Might I suggest a fire extinguisher?
Where's the fire extinguisher? Oh, there it is.
Ada, status report. Ada?
I think she was damaged in the crash.
We crashed. Last thing I remember was being sucked into that whatever it was.
Luckily, I was able to stay online and ready for action.
So what happened to us?
No idea. I was in the back doing laundry.
The power is out. Jonathan, I need you to do something for me.
I could probably manage a cold brew, sir.
I need you to access ship systems and tell me why the power is out.
Right. Let's see here.
drop it?
Aha! It looks as though something called the power matrix is damaged.
I'll take a look.
Just disappeared. Check the power matrix.
Can you fix it?
I think so, but I need some materials. Looks like we're going on a scavenger hunt.
We?
Let's hope some of my tools survived the crash. A pickaxe and a torch. It'll have to do. Jonathan, prepare the ship for an emergency Xenoterran egress.
Emergency, what?
Just open the doors on the lower deck.
We gotta go get 10 luminite and 3 coppers.
Counting coppers. It's what you're best at, sir.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Questified seeking dawn, baby.
Ground seems stable enough. Gravity slightly lower than Earth normal. Any idea where we are?
If I had to guess, I'd say we're in some sort of cave.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, a decent looking game, but you can tell it is a standalone game. It's going for a similar look here to what Seeking Dawn had on PC, but Seeking Dawn was much more populated than this. I mean, it looks good for a quest game, but it does look like a quest game. That's a mineral.
Ooh, is this copper?
The big crystal-shaped thing? I'd say it's probably a crystal.
A crystal? Marvelous. I feel like a real explorer.
Mine the luminite.
Luminite. Perfect. Now all we need is some copper.
The ship was looking pretty banged up. Do you really think we can fix it?
At the very least, we can get Ada back online. Maybe send out an SOS call.
I'd like to give that AI a piece of my mind. Leading the ship into the Bermuda Quadrant like that. Dreadfully irresponsible.
The Bermuda... The what?
Oh, you know, the Bermuda Quadrant. The region of space where ships always disappear.
What on earth are you talking about?
Haven't you read Beyond Science magazine? It covers all the good stuff. Aliens, disappearing ships, the Galactic Illuminati. You really should try to stay more informed, you know.
I'll keep that in mind.
So we've got to get up there. Either we can jump up there, teleport from here, or we'll have to walk around to the backside and climb up there. Oops. Well, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Let me get that luminite, baby. Can we get up there to that? Or do I need like a mining gun? Oh, what was that? It did something. Well, I guess it's a cast off flares or something. I guess I'll need special. Oh, you can throw your pick. Throw the pick by holding and releasing the trigger. Okay. Okay. Is it too big for me to do this way? I have to do one of the small ones like that. Yeah. lots of stuff up there. I have to climb up there. Again, I'm assuming that... Oh, what the hell? Can I throw this stuff? I can. I don't know why it's just floating here, but we'll take it. Every bit of it. Did we just make that hill disappear? We did. We walked inside. Can I go back in there? I wish the teleport button was push the thumbstick in instead of pushing it forward. So I clipped into the mountain. That's how I got that stuff without climbing up there. That's interesting. How did I manage that? I came back here. I don't even know if I can reproduce it. See, I'm turning on accident while I'm trying to teleport. That was a happy mistake.
Mushrooms! Finally, my area of
No, you
expertise.
can bounce on mushrooms.
You recognize the species?
Well, no, but if you grab a few, I can whip you up a tasty risotto.
I'll hold off on eating alien mushrooms for now, but this biomass should come in
Hold
handy.
grip when you see the circle icon to use the whip. The whip can grab items, resources, and more. Okay. Circle icon is where? Oh, these mushrooms. Did I get the... Yeah, I got it. But these ones you can teleport on top of.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gents, we are back. Unfortunately, you guys are just going to not be able to hear Eric. Eric and I can talk to one another, but there's something going on with this game where if I cast, he can't hear me in game. If I'm not casting, we can hear each other just fine. So, but we joined on an Oculus call here so that we can talk to one another. But unfortunately, Eric's mic audio is not going to come through to the stream. Can you hear me now, Eric? All right. All right. Let me mute our friend here because he doesn't even know what's happening right now. Yeah. Squad data. Ray Pissed 69. Sorry, dude, but you are No, I did not. Huge. All right, let's go kill some bugs. Again, ladies and gents, apologies that you can't hear Eric, but it is what it is. The I don't remember what it was, but we streamed a game recently and we were able to. It all worked, but for whatever reason in this game, it's not working. So it just is what it is. Probably.
Smoke's finally cleared from the outpost. That place looks trash.
And let's just smash it.
Whatever did that, mess them up.
We just suffered simultaneous attacks on a bunch of installations. While we tangoed at Camp Triumph, we lost the forward outpost. Please go kill what did that.
Next. I don't have enough money for that. All right. I'm working on a brand new account, so I don't have money to buy anything. Here we are, ladies and gents. Starship Troopers Continuum. You have to hold your gun down to run. I hate that. Like, a lot of games make you do that. If you hold... Yeah.
Should have known better than to be optimistic for survivors. Eye for an eye time. Bugs incoming!
So these bugs, they have a weak spot on their underbelly. If you hit that, you can take them out pretty easy. So I've ranked up already. And you can drop your clips on the ground, and the ammo will automatically come back to you. I like to stay reloaded. Yeah, you do. I gotta imagine it's gotta be one of the things that you upgrade, right? Is your clip size. Oh shit, I'm about to die.
Warriors couldn't do all that damage. Move on. Primary target is still out there.
I still haven't even played it enough to get used to using like the dash mechanic and stuff that's built in. Like if you're running and you press B button, you can dash like super fast. Oh yeah, I gotta get that ammo, boy. So like any roguelike, they give you these little stations to upgrade in between sections of the level. There's a lot of them, at least in the early level. Oh shit, what's hitting me? Fucker. Yeah. Yeah, if you shoot them without hitting their their weak point, that's what they do. If you hit you basically got to shoot them in the ass. That's pretty much what you have to do. If you shoot like the back end of their thing underneath them, it will it'll take half of their energy off and remove their shields. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it looks like they tried to wallpaper Farpoint into a quest too. Yeah, I like they sound really good. Yeah, it does. At least it's not all fucking shimmery with like a crap LOD, you know? Because it could definitely be worse. This, even though it's low detail, it's at least crisp and clean, you know? It looks like a Quest 2 game that needs a Quest 3 upgrade.
Bug hole ahead. Warriors will keep on coming unless we cave that in. Recon shows there's a rocket launcher. Trigger fingers ready.
You know, I hates it when you close the hole.
Scan the case, grab a launcher, and keep it steady and fire when ready.
There's definitely more bugs now that there's 3 of us, which is cool. That's what I was hoping for.
Form up and move on, troopers.
My sidearm is great too.
We're gonna walk around this way. I think we're already at the boss fight, right? Right, it's in this same area though.
8-pin thermal scans
Alrighty.
show life signs. Looks like we got a couple more bug holes to seal. Same basic process. Blow them up.
Alright, we got a better rifle there. Next. Shotgun. I'll take that rifle though. Purchase that. It's the same rifle, but it's leveled up. No, you should be able to do it too. Just go back. Try now. I didn't see what the difference in the name was. I just saw that the stats were a little bit better. Oh, that's right. I didn't have money then. I think they're supposed to let you get perks, but it just don't work, is what I think. Do you see that thing up there? That white thing you're supposed to collect? Yeah. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Yeah, you can find it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and some of those have a lot of money in them too. Like a lot of money. Well, so when I played this the first time, I just closed one of the holes, and I just sat here and leveled on the second hole for a good long while. Yeah. I've got a laser sight all of a sudden. I guess it... Yeah. The sound is good. I mean, I'll give it that. That's what I'm talking about. You could sit here and level all day like this in this big area. See them coming from a mile away. Oh yeah, there's a couple in here, I think, actually, now that I think about it. Oh yeah, I see it. Gonna ammo up. You already got it. Yeah, in this room, there was just two that I found. Now, there could be more. Well, yeah, it does. Yeah, I think so. Let's ammo up and then close the hole. All right.
Do unto others before they do to you, I always say. Okay? Job's a good one.
That guy's got the idea. He went ahead and grabbed a rocket launcher.
Every trooper's favorite sight. The Scarlet Juliet here to take the heroes home.
I got one too. Grab one before you step in the circle. All right. So for those of you watching at home, this thing is invulnerable until you hit him with a rocket. When you hit him with... Then you shoot him in the head to do damage. But you got to be careful when he starts moving again. He can one-hit you. Alright, I'm gonna back up. When he starts moving, he can move fast. And if he gets to you, he'll one-hit you and kill you. Yeah. Well, they keep dropping them, so if we can't get him to move, then they'll drop another one in just a second. I think they do. Is it down? No, it is not down. There's one by the hole. All right, I'm going. Yeah, I think that did damage. I'm not sure.
Rocket launcher.
Oh, see if you can get him up.
Hey,
Oh, wait.
the rocket launcher's there. Your name's on it.
Yeah, he's up. Damn. Did we get him? Alright, good. That thing was tough the first time I fought it. Yeah, I know. It looks like fire vomit. Yeah. Yeah.
Tanker eliminated. Victory and vengeance. That's the perfect breakfast.
So this is it, ladies and gents. This is as far as I've been in the game. We've got some money now. We've got some points to level up. And it's pretty fun. I mean, I think, you know, shooting things in VR is just fun.
Can't tell you how glad I am to bring back
It's kind of hard to fuck up.
dropped off. Let's do it again sometime, yeah?
So now we've unlocked a bunch of other stuff with these characters. We can get like career goals and things now to move them towards citizenship. Let's see here, trooper data. All right, I'm gonna do perk upgrades. All right, so I've got. It says one perk available, but I've ranked up twice, so I should have two available. All right, let's see here. Escaper. Psychosis burst destroys any dart or goop or standing. Okay, that might be useful in the future, but not right now. Your assault rifle base damage increases by 10%. That sounds really good. You can completely block an enemy attack, irrespective of your injury status. This block will be recharged after 60 seconds. That's pretty cool. Completely block an enemy attack, no matter how injured you are, and it is recharged every 60 seconds. That's pretty cool. I'm going to go for the offensive perk, but hopefully it lets me choose two. I wonder why it only gave me 1 point when I leveled up twice. Like, it should have let me pick two. What I'm doing, I keep pressing A and... anyway, fuck, that sucks. Anyway, we'll just go on. Oh, oh, so we have new sidearms over there? That's cool. Trooper citizenship. Damage dealt, bugs killed, missions completed, career goals 0 out of 3. Well, where do I find out what the career goals are? Back. Trooper data. So in the In the tutorial, it told you that you could level up faster by completing career goals for the troopers that you're possessing. But I don't see where to see what those career goals are.
Could be some bargain.
Alright, so there's a semi-automatic assault rifle with some decent stats. Has a lower capacity but more damage. Yeah, I like this rifle. And I definitely can afford it. I'm going to buy it.
Camp Triumph thanks you for your business.
Alright, let's see if I can afford the awesome pistol on top of it.
General Rico's a... They should make a giant spyglass. Precision laser. Fry the bugs from orbit.
No, this other pistol is it's a downgrade. Like it shoots faster, but damage is lower, the critical's lower, stun power's lower.
Food here is awful. I'm going to resort to bug meat soon.
Oh, I got you. Alright, well, I'm going to save the rest of my money. I upgraded my rifle again.
They should make a giant spyglass.
Iron Hound. See what the chat says about it.
Let's go!
What's up, Fuel Yarn? Thanks for joining. Is there friendly fire? I don't think there's friendly fire. Did you notice any friendly fire, Eric? Magnum Gaming wants to know if the PSVR 2 version will at least have shadows. That's a good question. You know, this is coming to PSVR 2 and it did get delayed a little bit. Maybe, Eric, fingers crossed, we get a better version on PlayStation.
Please do not bring bug larvae into camp. They are not cute and will be flushed.
Yeah, it's XR Games. Yeah, for sure.
This is as close as I can get you without
Zombie
getting
Lamb.
torched. There's a plasma bug out back of the old BKM refinery, providing air cover for the bug front line. Now, the Savage team won't let us bomb it from orbit.
You know what I'm about to get back into to review for the 2024 show is well, yeah, that's for Game of the Year, but I mean for like a co-op campaign, Zero Caliber. Yeah, Traveling Man just picked it up, and I think SpryGuy's going to pick it up too. We just finished into Black, so well, I'm all for getting back in that one. It's infinitely fun. Oh, I like this rifle. I gotta figure out where the slide is on it. There it is. Need some better sights on it would be nice. Which I guess the first one didn't even have sights on it at all. It was just hip firing the first one. That was a fast checkpoint. Yeah, otherwise what is that for? Like it doesn't do anything.
Bugs incoming! Warriors, take them out!
Well, those bugs look pretty cool. The flying ones up close. Yeah, if you can see their faces up close, they're pretty wicked looking. They have glowing blue eyes. Like 6 of them. Need some more ammo, yo. Is there an ammo box somewhere? Grenades. I probably should use more grenades. I just like shooting stuff so much. Yeah, how it blinks out, yeah.
Hopper, don't lose your head.
I wonder when we're gonna get to fight that thing that keeps flying around. Oh, you can shoot it now. Good job. That's interesting because that thing was in the first level. I just didn't know you could shoot it.
Warriors, take them out.
Where they at? There they is. Oh, the door's locked. You can't go in there. Oh shit! I did too. What the fuck was that? Me too. I don't even know what it was. Holy crap! All right, so we have to pick a new guy now, and that's the thing that kind of sucks about it is like, I guess we'll do shotgun this time just to show the people what the shotgun's like. Oh, I didn't get a pick. Never mind. Oh, I got the shotgun anyway. So like, you know, I was on level 3 and had all those perks unlocked. Now they're gone. And that's part of the game. I have no idea. Maybe something blew up or... I don't know. Maybe we should throw a grenade at him and find out.
Well, hell, you know what to do.
So we're going to roll with some shotgun for a little while. In the right circumstance, the shotgun's pretty cool. It's actually the most effective weapon I found for fighting that first boss was the... Oh, it'll let you do it now? That's because we have a new character. Okay, escaper. Psychosis burst. Destroys any goop restraining your trooper. Advanced aim. Your movement speed penalty when aiming down sight reduces by 35%. Bird hunter. You deal 35% damage to aerial enemies. Well, we'll take that. Oh, it gives you 3 whole new ones to look at too. Your trooper can carry an extra grenade. Manual reload damage bonus increases. I am going to take that one, most likely. Equip. Manual reload bonus. Primary weapons. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go back to my rifle actually. No, I told the people I'd let them see shotgun. I'm gonna let them see shotgun. Where they at? Oh yeah, there they are. Boom. Thank you.
You've got warriors! Let those bullets fly!
Fuck, I'm dead. I have a feeling. Alright, I'm going back to my semi-automatic rifle, I do believe. So the way it works is you get to work through a whole squad of dudes, and then when you run out of dudes, that's when you get game over. Psycho power, rapid burst. What is rapid burst? Cooldown. Yeah, we'll do advanced aim. Automatic weapon pro. Critical damage increases by 15%. Vengeance. When a squad member dies, you deal an additional 23% damage for 15 seconds. Further deaths reset the duration, but damage does not stack. We'll do Bird Hunter. Alright, and we're going to go here and get a better rifle. Ticks. You know who loves a good tick? I'm coming. Don't die. Oh, I found one of those white things. There's ammo over there as if I need it. You guys went through a whole fucking checkpoint. I assume I'm going to catch up with you soon. Yep. Well, what'd you find? Oh, I found one of those in the first level. I don't know what they're for. Can you shoot it maybe? Yeah, I don't know. I tried to find some place to put it in the first one. Couldn't. Maybe it's just a random fucking thing that you can pick up for no reason. Okay. Oh yeah, I found one of those too. When I played the first time. Nah, I'm not worried about it, honestly. Oh, okay. Was it another one of those? Yep. Got it. I think Ray was missing us. He came back for us twice.
Hostile employee detected. Lockdown in place until suitable working conditions are restored.
Or do we have to defend this or something now, or what? Survive the lockdown. Yep. Here we go. I wish this thing had a bigger clip in it. That would be nice. Fuck, I just about got killed again. Something shot at me. Somebody just died, it sounded like. Grab the fucking slide, you bitch. Fucker.
Reporting for duty.
I do. I'm trying to find out where the enemy is. There he is. Literally out of ammo. Just loaded my last clip.
Alright, old subway. Should take you where you need to go. Then get the hell out of there.
This game's getting funner. Of course. Right. Yeah, no, not a lot.
Thank you for riding BKM rail.
Finally, catharsis time.
Right. That's. I assume that these are just for when you get killed. Yeah, we should be able to. Primary. No, I've already got the best one of those. I got a pistol upgrade. I'll take the pistol upgrade, even though I would never use the pistol. There is for me, yeah. Barely. Does a little more damage and a little bit more stun power. There we go. Yeah, that's the that love-hate relationship that you have with roguelites.
Well, that's a plasma blip if I ever saw one.
Oh, here we go. This is what we came for. Oh shit, watch out. Oh, he's... Okay, you gotta hit him to get his defenses down, and then you can start working on his main bar.
Warriors on your location.
Well, if you hit him underneath a little bit, he's got an even weaker point. Yeah, if you hit him in the mouth. I'm about to run out of fucking ammo.
Excellent kill. Skies are clear. Romeo's inbound for evac.
Well, that thing was intimidating, but it was kind of easy. The first boss was more difficult.
Thanks you for volunteering for today's very special operation.
Is there any of the white things to shoot before we leave here? Yeah, probably smart. Alright, ammoed up. I don't either. Not off the top. Alright, let's see. See how it goes. Regroup. Who's still hanging in here? Rogue TR is still hanging in. Ace Gamer's still here. Shapeshifter, the Anomaly Game Cat. Mark Pringlesleaf, Chrome Colossus, Magnum Gaming. Later, Ace. Thanks for stopping by. Technoglitch still here. Return to the... Alright, see, oh, ammo cost. Funeral fee. Okay, so that's an interesting way that they go about charging you for accuracy. The more ammo you use, the less money you make. And funeral fee is death penalty. Loading, 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 loading. You know, one good thing about this, there's players.
Hey, nice shooting out there.
Oh, we unlocked some shit that time. Yeah, I'm back now.
I killed a mutant.
No, it's good. Like the first time I did a lobby, it was full before I could type in the fucking code to send to you. And every time that we've tried to start a lobby, there's been people jump in.
Trooper?
I guess I should do perks. Are we gonna do one more? Or are we gonna call it a show? Yeah. Let me see. Nope. I don't. Yeah, I don't have any either because I'm still on level 3. So I guess you don't lose your level. You just lose your perks. So we came back and we got to choose 2, and then when we move up to the next level, we'll get another one. Okay, so that makes more sense, and it's not as frustrating as I thought that it was going to be. I thought you went back to level 1 every time you died. That would be shitty.
Yeah, we're open 24/7.
Let's take a look here. Next, got a shotgun, Morita, Arbiter. Arbiter level 1. See, that's what I don't understand. It's an expensive weapon, but it's not anywhere near the level the one that I have on me. Like the only thing it gives me is more capacity. That's a downgrade. That's a downgrade. Every weapon in my primary is a downgrade. All 4 of them.
Yeah, take a look.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. You trying to take my friend from me? Oh, there's a new pistol. There's a there's a revolver. That looks cool. Yeah, I'll buy that.
Pleasure doing business with you.
So the leveling's cool. The minute-to-minute gameplay is pretty fun, but just because shooting things in VR is fun, and the guns feel and sound pretty good. The reloading's good. It's kind of basic, a little easy so far, but we've only ran 2 levels, so maybe it gets more difficult. Although I'm not very optimistic about the fact that the second boss was easier than the first boss. But only time will tell. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. I don't know. Yeah, let me check so everyone knows. I'm thinking, $15 or $20 would be good for this one. If it's like 25 or 30, that's probably a little high, but it's got this franchise attached to it, so it's probably going to cost more than we want it to. Let me look. All right, let's go here and go to the quest store. Browse all games. Games. Starship Troopers. I gotta bring it up in a private window to see what the price is. Copy. Private. Paste and go. Okay, all right. So it's only $20. Yeah, I would say so. Like, get it like a app referral from someone. Hit me up on Discord. I'll give you an app referral. I'll put a bunch of them on there the other day for all the stuff I've been playing lately or getting ready to play. I think it's 7 or 8 hours to play through the campaign, and then you can do individual missions outside the campaign. So, yeah, I think it's one of those endless leveling type things where you can play without running in the campaign. But I saw a full playthrough on YouTube that was like 6 hours and 45 minutes. And normally when these dudes do these full playthroughs on YouTube, it's their second playthrough, and they've already, they already know what to do, and they shave hours off of it. So I would guess it's a 8 to 10 hour campaign, most likely, which isn't bad. Like I don't have a whole lot bad to say about it, other than the visuals obviously are low detail, and I think the gameplay balance could use some balancing, obviously. I like the weapons. This revolver's fucking cool. No, I didn't have it unlocked, or it wasn't available to purchase. I like that. But it's fun. I'll play it again. Like, yeah, I'll probably wait for the PlayStation version. See if it's get some upgrades. I know that at the very least, we should get some haptics that'll make it better. A little more field of view, a little bit brighter. Hopefully that they have a HD texture pack that they're going to work into it. Right. Yeah, I hope so. Well, PlayStation gamers don't take too kindly to straight ports from Quest. They like to have the best version, right? People don't go spend that extra $500 on that box to play the Quest games on. So we shall see. Hopefully soon, but hey, if it takes them 6 more months to make an upgraded version, then they should take 6 more months to do it. I don't think they will. I think this game will probably be out before the end of the year on PlayStation. But it's pretty fun. Not terrible. I thought it was going to be terrible when I saw the first trailer because it looked really shallow. But it does have some progression. The gunplay's good. Hopefully they keep on with the enemy diversity and give us some different environments. Anyway, that's our show for tonight, folks. I'd like to thank you all for staying up late and watching us play and watching us talk about the Deckard. Man, I'm so excited for that. It's so I don't know what the word is. Like I'm the anticipation, just knowing that Valve is trying to do something different with immersive gaming is the excitement's palpable now. So I can't wait to find out what's next with that. I want to, of course, thank Brad again for coming in and joining us and sitting down and enlightening us all about how things are and what we know and what we don't know. Anyway, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and ring the bell. If you'd like to support the channel, please consider following on Patreon and hit us up on Discord where we hang out 24/7, 365. We will be back next week. At the very least, we'll be back to cover Behemoth, which comes out next Thursday. So we'll probably be back, if not on Thursday or Friday, we'll definitely be back by Saturday. And I would say more than likely the next time we do an episode, or at least by that episode, I might come on early in the week and do something else depending on what my schedule is. But at the very least, by next weekend, we'll probably do categories and nominees for the 2024 show awards. So next Saturday, I would say most likely Behemoth impressions and award nominees. Anyway, with that said, friends, I'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Brad and Eric, I'm Wes. We'll see you next time. Bye now. Indeed, it.